Hey, we are live. It'll be helpful if I actually turn up my microphone. So, if you guys are listening to the audio side of the house, I want to go ahead on and say thank you for listening for the playback. For those of you who are watching this live, I want to say welcome because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to stop dating broke guys. What are those red flags that you should think about? And also, the things that I want to dive into is getting into what it is um, that we are looking for in dating because we just had Valentine's Day. So, for those of you who are new to the show, my name is Anthony Weaver and I am your host of the About That Wallet podcast show. So, let me go ahead on and do the intro, and we are going to kick this off properly.
In a world where financial advice is as blurry as a wild night of cheap jello shots, clear your head and your monetary halitosis with the About That Wallet show hosted by Anthony Weaver. Leave those jello shots for the amateurs and learn to indulge in the top shelf bottles, baby. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
What up, what up, everybody? So, has been such a great time. I actually like this intro music because we have a wonderful time today. We are going to be talking about a couple things that I think is going to be interesting, which is about, finding that true love, but also why you're dating those broke guys. Because we had that wonderful opportunity to have Valentine's Day. And for those of you who are disappointed on Valentine's Day, could you blame yourself or could you blame the guy that you're with or the gal that you're with? Because we have a lot going on. But before we start diving into the dating scene, I want to give you guys a little preview of what happened last week. So for those of you who haven't seen the prior episodes, I want to make sure that you go see those because, hey, this is what we're here for, to try to help you build strong financial behaviors. And I had the opportunity to interview Mr. Harmon from Harmon Financial. His name is Demetrius. So go ahead on and check out season 3, episode 45 if you haven't. This is a snippet from that particular episode. I wonder why I look like this. There we go. Yeah, make it bigger.
So, and here's the catch: we didn't have an emergency fund. So, obviously, a loved one in the hospital is definitely an emergency. So, in that 5 or 6 weeks, we accrued some debt. And once my mother-in-law passed away, we caught our breath. It was tough. We had to heal from it. But in 2018, my wife and I looked at each other and said, "No more, no mas." And as the head of the household, I felt like I failed. And I told her, I said, "We'll never go through this again. We'll never go through life again without an emergency fund." So what I always tell people is when you don't have an emergency fund, it's like walking on a tightrope with no safety net.
All right. So yeah, that was a interesting episode. Please go ahead on and check that out. We had such a great time talking about walking in faith and finances and how he found his wife and how they were able to get out of debt, fund his wife going through her doctorate program, and able to now live a debt-free life. So please make sure you guys check that out. Now let's go ahead on and dive right into the news before we get to the main segment of the show because I actually like this. So for the news, let's go on and dive right into it. All right, so inside the news today, what we have going on, there's several things that are happening, especially in and around town. For those of you who are just catching up, when it comes to the finances, they have here that the FAA head defends safety of the U.S. air travel after closing calls. We have Richmond Biotech Khalif Bio sees a $2 billion market for its product now after entering human trials. They have a mini union vote for Tennessee plant set for March 16th, for those of you who are in Tennessee. And also they have retail sales jump as Americans defy inflation rate and rate hikes. This is actually interesting that a lot of people are looking into those because we have a lot of stuff happening, and everybody keeps saying, well, is there really going to be a downfall? But we don't know. So let's see what we have here in the real estate news. For those of you who are looking into real estate, we have Virginia leaders reunite in making the case of bringing FBI headquarters to Springfield. We have the average home buyer pay down. Hold up. The average home buyer down payment in DC is $75,000, but that's average. So keep that in mind. Maryland is among the top states for single women as homeowners. So, guys, if you're out there looking for some single ladies who actually can hold their own because they are independent, you might want to check out Maryland. And also, we have here buyers rejoice. Well, buyers rejoice as a question mark. Most pandemic era home buyers say they have no regrets. Now, what's one of the cool things that's interesting to see that people don't have regrets because obviously, stuff happens. So, that's where we at. All right. So this is interesting. I'm actually here by myself, having a good time. Valentine's Day was yesterday, right? And so because everybody is having a good time, this is the day after. Chocolate is 50% off. So if you guys want to send me chocolate, go ahead on and send it on over to About That Wallet, and the address is P.O. Box 1877, Clinton, Maryland 20735. So you can go down and send me some chocolates because I do enjoy having some chocolates, some balloons. And ain't nothing wrong with guys getting some of these balloons. We actually do enjoy those. We enjoy having wonderful times and so forth. And I enjoy chocolates. I enjoy having balloons. Is that wrong for me to ask those? So for you all in the chat, as we start diving into this relationship side of the house, I mean, relationship as money is important, but I'm going to play something from this guy. He's been talking a lot of smack about, dating and so forth. So let me add this back to the stream. Well, listen what this guy has to say about dating and such.
All right. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. You trying to tell me, okay, what's your definition of broke?
Broke is you cannot stand on your own 2 feet and take care of your bills and essentials. Not that you got to live a life of luxury or anything like that, but you on your own cannot survive. That's broke to me.
And they trying to date?
Yes. Now I'm gonna be real.
Okay.
And some people may disagree with this.
Okay.
I do think that a woman has more leeway in this department than a man does. All right. And so if I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Like if you're a broke woman, you can pull it off. You really can. If you got some other stuff going on for you can still make it happen. So I'm not. I would still say be careful because you don't want your brokenness to be dictating your decisions as far as who you get with. Because now if you need a man to survive, you may overlook some red flags in order to achieve that survival. So that's where it's risky.
Yeah.
But if you're not making those mistakes, let's say, for example, you live at home with your parents.
Yeah.
So technically you're broke because you can't survive on your own, right? But that situation does not lend towards you possibly choosing wrong because of your financial position, because you're still in a safe place. But as a man, if you're broke, whether you're broke living with your parents or anywhere, that's a problem.
Hold on. If you're broke and live with your parents, you got reason to be broke and live with your parents. Like something could have happened. You could have just had that moment in time. Like everybody has a story, but it could just be in that one downfall of their story. But let's see what this guy has to say. Let's continue.
Date while you're broke.
First off, This guy's beard is I have to give it to him. His beard is pretty nice. I mean, compared to mine, right quick, I don't know. I might have to pick mine out, but his beard is on point. I gotta give him that though. Let's get back to this.
Broke. you because again, it's there's so many pitfalls being set up by that dynamic.
Yeah.
It's just I could never condone it. I could never push it. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If you happen to find real love while you're broke, I'm not gonna sit there and say you don't deserve to embrace that real love. But you should not be focused on finding a partner and searching for it and putting energy into it when you need to be putting energy into establishing yourself.
I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Should you focus heavily on yourself while you broke? I don't have as a thing, but you guys here with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like you might be broke, but do you really need to focus completely on yourself? Or should you go ahead on and still shoot your shot no matter where you at? Let me know in the comments. Let's get back to this guy.
Just ask the question. Should a man be financially stable before he starts dating?
He should. I believe he should. I believe if he wants...
Hold on. Financially stable versus broke. There's two different things, okay? Financially stable, let me just tell you my definition before this guy continue on saying whatever he got to say. Let me use the right thing here, like as this, over here, this is where the video is on your side. This guy saying that, financially stable, you should be okay before you date. Me personally, what I think stable means when you're financially stable is that means that you actually know where all your money's going. You know exactly where, how your income is coming in. You can actually stand on your own, meaning you don't have to worry about your bills and everything like that being not taken care of. You could live back home with your parents, but that means that you understand that, hey, conditions right now, job isn't working out, but you actually in a process of getting things on your own. That's my thing is stable. Even from the guy perspective. I don't have any ladies right now. If you're out there listening, please comment in the chats. Or, matter of fact, I'm gonna open up my phone lines early so that you all can give me a call. Let me see if I can sync up my phone here so you guys can give me a call. We're just gonna take these phone calls live. All right. So my phone lines are open. I'm gonna put my little banner up so you guys can give me a call. It's 833-699-2558. If you want to give me a call, give me your perspective on this stuff on dating, guys being financially stable or not even that. Just call in, because I think this is a conversation that's worth having, especially now. Valentine's Day is over. You got your feelings hurt, or your feelings were actually good. It could have been a broke guy taking good care of you, but whatever. Let's go.
The best results possible? Yes. Again, he don't got to be rich, but you got to be able to take care of yourself. If you need her to survive, and when I say her, any woman to come in your life to survive, that's a problem. Because here is what happens in a lot of situations. Men tend to pick women based on where they are in life. All right?
Okay.
Which is why you'll see the situations where guys who were once broke were with one kind of woman.
Yeah.
They get famous or rich, and now they switch up.
Right.
And people will say they switched up, and I say, no, they didn't.
Now, I had to pause this here, because do you think people date differently when they have money versus when they don't have money? I'd like to hear your thoughts, because, me personally, I would think the question is, do you love them regardless of their money? Do you have that God-like mentality that, oh, we got a phone call. Hold on, guys. Let's see what we got.
Grasshopper, call for.
All right. Hello, caller. Welcome to the About That Wallet show. My name is Anthony. How can I help you?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's actually James.
I was just catching part of your live show, and it actually struck a chord with me. The other night after the Super Bowl, some of my friends were here, and Marcus and Courtney, they've been dating for about on and off for about a year and a half. And Courtney had made a comment a while back saying that she didn't date broke guys. But Marcus' interpretation of broke was different than hers. From Courtney's perspective, Marcus has a full-time job. He's financially stable. It's just that sometimes his bills fluctuate because he had a child recently. Marcus interprets broke as anytime he feels as though he doesn't have the money to sustain that relationship. So he would just disappear for like 3 weeks at a time. And then when he felt like his money was right, he would pop back up in Courtney's life, and she didn't appreciate that. I think that dating, while like the classic definition of broke, is probably not the best idea, but I think that broke changes for like the age that you're in. So I think broke dating at 21 is different than broke dating at 35.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Yeah, because I feel you. Dating when you're 21, obviously you might just get out of college. You know, you could just be figuring out life, you jumping around jobs and so forth. 35, I think anything over 30, you should be somewhat getting close to that stable mindset, that stable financial situation, what have you. Granted, life happens. Hey, you could have broke your leg or something like that. But, you know, James, with the people that you talked about, that is interesting after meeting them in person because of what their definitions of broke is, really does have an impact on how they view each other in their relationship. So,
and I think that at a certain point, also the purpose of your dating also impacts what broke looks like. So at 21, if you're just dating for fun, broke looks like you might not be able to afford drinks this weekend at happy hour. But at 35, broke looks like it's not just what you're making right now. What do you have in terms of savings? What does your credit look like? What do you have in terms of a retirement plan? Can you, I don't know. I think that age deals a big part of it. But
okay, yeah. So if you take age in one way, so do you think just listening to that conversation, I know that's not your relationship, but would you feel as though, well, based on the information that you received from them two, which one do you feel is the more mature?
I felt like Courtney's view was. I think that her definition of broke was more concrete and like fact-based, because it wasn't just your money is tight. Because she recognized that sometimes his money was tight, but that's not necessarily what made him broke. Courtney is like another friend that I have. She's well into the six figures in terms of her pay. So she just refuses to date outside of her tax bracket because the things that she is accustomed to, she would like her partner to be able to do. So she's not dating somebody who makes six figures so that that person can spend money on her. She's dating somebody who makes six figures so that they can go both do the same thing.
That's interesting. So go ahead.
Oh, and Marcus and Courtney, they work together and their pay is very comparable. So I think that Courtney knows that he's not broke. But he just bought a house. I think it's still, he has a kid. So I think his income kind of changes, but she's understanding of that. And I think her being understanding and him not being willing to listen kind of makes her more of an adult in the situation. Not to throw my man out.
You know. You did know him a lot longer than he did. So Right.
Yeah, but I mean, like her argument was valid. Like we've been stringing this along for a year and a half, and he's hanging on to this one word that she used, and is kind of basing his entire decisions around that one word. But that's not how she meant it. And I get it because like we both have been broke in our past, and he's no longer broke. And I think that sometimes people who come from relative squalor to making a significant amount of money, I think their perception of broke is kind of skewed.
Got you. So I just added somebody else to the stream. Jonathan, man, how you doing today, sir? It's been a while.
Man, I gotta give me one of them mics.
I gotta get you a proper intro. Hold on, dude. Let's get you in there. Hey, we got Jonathan Thomas in the house.
Sir Mix a lot.
Yeah, we got you in there. So just wanted to add you in because Jonathan, you and I talked about relationships quite a bit of times. And right now on the phone call is James. James,
how you doing, James?
They were just talking about the dynamic of a phone, like a conversation I had after the Super Bowl party. So, just kind of talk about the different relationships of like the different views of being broke and what a broke person is in a relationship can actually impact almost could impact the validity or bring out those traumas in which James was just talking about. So what is your take on being broke and dating?
I think everybody's in the same boat that they don't realize. Like, I mean, on this side, because the stats, but stats doesn't really do the justice. The fact is, the most recent example I've seen was like Elon, and he was talking about who was he speaking about? He was speaking about the FTX guy that went under, the CEO, and his comment. I mean, Elon has a lot of different opinions, but one that I thought was interesting was he was like, "Yeah, when I met him, his whole makeup didn't seem legit as a billionaire," and that's often what I see with people. If you're a millionaire, you can look at somebody and be like, okay, they might do well, they might make a good salary, but they don't have as much as people may think they have. That's why I said people are broke. They might not be broke. Maybe they have a few dollars in the bank, but they don't have as much as one would think that they have based off how they're trying to present themselves. And I say that because if people actually understood where they were, it would be quite humbling. You can't judge somebody else across the street from you. This whole, I think a big trend in conversation with relationships now is like people are filming girls saying, well, how much do you want the guy to make? Well, 250, 500. At first, it could be offensive, but the more I started listening and kind of reading this thing, I was like, oh, if you could actually look at the girls, they don't have any concept of money. So they're gonna say a number that, it doesn't make statistical sense. And people are like, well, the average person do this, but they're giving you a number because you ask, and they're trying to think of, okay, with all the stuff that I want to do, I think 500 will be enough. But if a guy came to them and that guy made 60 or 70 or even 50, and he gave them all the stuff, even stuff that they didn't even know they could have, and then they come to find out, oh yeah, he don't make 500. So that's the thing that I think people, instead of getting offended when somebody say, you're looking for 500. Well, no, you know what I mean? Yeah, they are, because they don't have any concept of money. They don't know how much stuff costs. They don't know how to make those decisions. But no, it's just an interesting, really, really interesting thing, because I'm like, it's the blind leading the blind. You're ready to cut somebody out, but I'm like, okay, women, what is the stat? Most popular people now, most rising entrepreneur is women. Women are being more educated and all that. That's great. they not on the list of assets.
Right.
They not climbing the list of, hey, they got the emergency fund and they credit straight. No, they got a lot of debt and they got a lot of income earning potential. And if a girl that's making six figures got 6 figures worth of debt, it's not the end of the world. But when you meet a guy who's making 50 and he has 20 in the bank and got his retirement going, you don't have that. you don't. So one would say he's probably doing a little bit better than you are, financially.
So James, what was the outcome of that whole conversation though?
There was no actual outcome. There was tears. There was some tears that night.
Oh, tears?
And I think
some tears.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you gotta
you hurt their feelings?
Yeah, what you do? You gotta bring in some more details, sir.
You at a Super Bowl party and your people crying, and you think?
Well, that's why I saw the topic tonight, right? And like we had just had the conversation a few nights ago, and they
crying.
They I don't think that money is the basis for their relationship problems. Just from the outside looking in, I think that ultimately, if you want to be in a relationship with someone, then finances are something that you can work through or work with the person. Me personally, especially if that person has like some of the foundation set up for a stable financial life. So if that person is not living necessarily check to check, or if that person has like a viable income, a steady income, you could give that person some knowledge and some tips to kind of help them improve their financial health overall. And I think that Marcus and Courtney are in a situation where if they actually wanted to be together officially, then finances wouldn't preclude or stop that relationship. So I think that there's some other issues that are going on behind the scenes that I'm not aware of.
Gotcha.
But it was just like that broke conversation. It was interesting.
So did one of them call the other broke? They got offended. Like, where'd the crying part come in?
So, because she was talking to him, but he just wasn't being receptive. He was doing one of those things where he was listening to respond. You could tell he was just waiting for her to put the period at the end of her sentence before he spit something back. Like, he was not receptive. And, there were some libations. I think that
it had to be.
Maybe it was the emotions of the Super Bowl. The Eagles lost. That's playing.
Yeah. Well, shoot. I mean, I would have thought she'd been happy with Rihanna. I heard Rihanna kill. I fell asleep after like the first touchdown. I didn't wake up to like the last touchdown. So I'm like, man. Well, maybe she mad because Rihanna is pregnant and she ain't finna get no album. So everybody night got to be ruined.
No, that's not it. But I mean, the actual point, like, the dating culture right now, I don't think is, how do I say this? It's in my opinion, it's fiscally irresponsible to date more than one person at a time.
But that's not new to now.
You go out.
Well, it's always been that way.
Has it always been that way?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you? Wait a second. Is he married?
Look, James, you're not married, right?
Because I'm not. No.
You're dating. So it's...
Yeah.
He said it's always. Wait a second. If you think it's fiscally responsible to date at any time, it was never. See, this is the funny. I think this is the humor. I guess to me, because I've been dating since I'm married, but I started dating when I was 13, and then I started being able to take my own dates out when I was like 16 because I had my own car and stuff. But I was one of the few people who were lucky had an older brother. But still, I had to pay for the girl to get in the movie too with me, even though he's driving it. So it's one of the things where when I started dating at 16, I thought it was ignorant of me to think that the girl is only dating me. Like that's something that happened back in Leave It to Beaver 1950. Hey, we courting, we dating, we seeing each other. Okay, this is my girl. By the time I'm 16, I'm 38 now. I'm like, okay, if I'm dating her, she's probably talking to somebody else. That whole if a girl's dating me for a meal, yeah. But I wanted to go out with the girl. You know what I mean? They was
How much are
hungry.
you spending on this meal? This is a McDonald's meal, or what are you talking about? Like
No, like these
Chipotle?
are these are dates. Now, granted, you know what I mean. Where I was eating level wise, you got your Applebee's, Chili's. That you stay in that bar and grill level type thing, and you try to go during the discount phase. You can try to spin it however you want. But I'm saying like guys are acting like these look. Oh, you take a girl out. Oh man, let me take a meal back for my kid. Well, if you're dating a girl with kids, I think it's courteous to ask, does she want something? Or she's gonna try to take her meal back for her kid. That's just a normal thing.
Now
But every
you bringing up another
every guy
topic.
getting offended
You
now.
bringing up
You know what I
another
mean?
topic now. Like
Well, I'm not trying to bring up another topic, but I'm saying he said, "Oh, it's not fiscally responsible." No, it's not fiscally responsible to be single. It's better if you lock down and be married, not even married, but have a girlfriend. It really is better, like money wise, for a guy. You know what I mean? It's cheaper if
it's
you want
cheaper.
to say that.
I got you.
Yeah, it's cheaper to not cheat and to get you just one girl that's gonna be okay. Hey, we're gonna go to the park, eat some ice cream, and that's okay. But when you're trying to meet new people, yes, you have to spend money for people's time. You have to earn the right. Even if you got a reputation, you still got to take them out a couple times before they'll be like, okay, we ain't got to do nothing for, you know what I mean, for expensive. But when you get to that college age, you can kind of sift through a little bit because everybody's like, nobody got money for real here. They're like, I can't be taking you out. All right, you come over my dorm, I come over your dorm. College parties might be a date. Cool. You get out of college and you start your professional career, even though you're not making much, you dating professionals. You got to go to a happy hour. You gotta eat. They like that happens. So this whole thing of you're getting offended or people getting offended. Now, granted, you can be truthful with the girl, be like, look, man, I can't afford all this, or that's not smart. I know people like I don't agree with telling them, yeah, I'm on a budget. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear about nothing about your budget. Just say, look, I ain't got it. I like you. I ain't got it like that for every week. Once or twice a month, we in there. You know what I mean? If we can't establish a relationship on once or twice a month, then cool. And you get you about 2-3 days down, and you be like, well, I mean, can you kick in a little bit? If she a real one, she understand that. You know what I mean? And be like, okay, cool. I ain't paying every time. Okay, cool. But it ain't gonna be no like now. If I go out, if I take my wife to eat now, which is weird because I've been dating the same girl for a long time. Like we married, we got kids, but the dinners got more expensive. Like it's two of us, and the dinner be like 150, 200. Yeah, but we married. Need nothing we changed, but the experience that you want to eat has changed. Like my wife ain't trying to eat Applebee's. She will, but she ain't trying to. Like that's just
People
how it is.
call
But if
that
I was dating,
right.
happy hour, cooking in this environment, like you mix
This
it up.
economy, yeah. But
Yeah. But
so
no, like you
James,
gotta do that.
what's your take? Because I know you're a dating guy. How your dating situation?
He said it's expensive.
Went off on a very different tangent than I was going initially. And I mean, yes, I started with it's fiscally irresponsible to date multiple people, but I think that's because dating culture has changed now where people try to simulate a relationship without actually being in one. That's what I see a lot from being in culture. So two people will do things that are very reminiscent of being in a relationship, only they're like, oh no, this is just like a we're just testing things right now. You know, it's very And again,
Ain't no testing.
perception is different.
Like you can go to Costco or Sam's if you want to get a free sample or something. Like go do that somewhere. So do you have a girlfriend, sir?
Oh, I didn't finish yet because my perception
Oh, you okay?
was different. I didn't really date, and then I spent 3 years living in Europe. So the dating culture in Europe is also very different.
Yeah.
American dating culture, it is expected for men to cover part of it, and I 100% agree with that. I won't ask a woman out and expect that woman to pay. I will not do that. Like that, to me, it's just a very weird concept. And just from speaking from my female friends, it puts them in a weird position where it's like, are we going out as friends, or is this someone who's actually interested in me? Like, the person who's also on the show, he hit the nail on the head. You have to kind of buy into the relationship. So I do agree with that. But the things that people want to do in these simulated relationships are ridiculously expensive. So like so I'm like, am I going to go out to brunch with 5 people and then I'm spending $1,000 a month at brunch for 5 mimosas and 6 pancakes? That's dumb. Why would I do that?
Dang. What brunch you going to?
Right.
I'd be like $50. Like, so would you call yourself a passport bro since you stayed in Europe?
What was that?
He said that do you call yourself a passport bro since you stayed in Europe?
Oh, no. I mean, I was stationed in Europe, so that's why I stayed.
Oh, okay. Appreciate your service.
Thank you. But I mean, like, the dating culture in Europe is very different, and the for things in Europe are different. So I don't know. Like me, I've been very fortunate with my dating. I haven't met people who are asking for ridiculous things and stuff like that. And you can be creative and do things that don't require you to spend a ton of money. Like, I don't know. But
you said you haven't experienced that. You were just more speaking on, hey, I know this is out there, right?
Yeah. But I mean,
okay.
I do take women out, and it does get relatively expensive, especially when you start doing things like trips and stuff like that. Like
taking a girl on a trip,
right? Trip, like to the grocery store.
Anthony,
so like, right? Nah, they doing flights, bro.
Right.
They doing flights and giving them an Uber back. Like
Uber back.
So I guess the thing that I'd see, like I said, I see a few trends. Yes, there's a lot of ignorance on the woman part about what money takes, what it takes to get a certain lifestyle. But on the gentleman side of things, and I'm lucky on TikTok, like 60% of my following now is men, which I thought was interesting. But one of the things that I see the lack of knowledge is leadership from the get-go. Like everything is developed. Like he said, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you don't ever buy your girl, you know what I mean, a bag. And I'm not saying they're not gonna come to you early. You know what I mean? You just met this girl, be like, yeah, I really want that Gucci bag though. Yeah, that's nice. You know what I mean? If you want to talk Gucci bag and we out on a date, then we need to be talking about, hey, this is what I really need to see from you, because there's levels to where I'm going with this gift. My wife, there are things I'll do for my wife I never done for a girlfriend. My wife get flowers every month. You couldn't get me to buy a girl flowers even on her best day when we were dating. It just wasn't gonna happen. I had to do some pretty bad stuff to go get at least one flower. My wife getting multiple roses throughout the month now. It's separation. And if a person doesn't want to develop to get to that level with you, okay, cool. You don't value me like that. Okay, I can cut this short. Cool. But for me, that's the sales side. I understood that somebody might have interest because you just met them and got their number, but it's a difference from when you're talking about, hey, I now want you to commit to me on this level. I want you to run this. That's where you're trying to get to early and fast to be like, okay, oh, you don't want to do it. I reached out to you. I If it was a question, there was no statement, I expect a response in a timely fashion. You ain't that busy. You know what I mean? So you not. I expect like and it's their choice whether or not they want to respond. But okay, cool. But if I'm gonna try to communicate with you and we're trying to establish a line of respect with each other, you have to understand that boundary. You have to understand there's levels to this. You can't even return my text. Don't come to me talking about, hey, Valentine's Day coming up. Oh, I get the alerts. I'm on social media. I got the color. I know exactly where we are in the year.
Hold on, why do you have an alert for Valentine's Day?
You know they send stuff, you know what I mean? Like on your social media, all of a sudden all the ads is, hey, make sure you get this. I don't have to make sure I get jack. You know what I mean? I'm straight. Like for my biggest thing when I was dating was I spent Valentine's Day with my mama. Right. Like I can cut through all this noise. I'm gonna go take my mama out, somebody I know to be true. And I wish a girl would be like, why you ain't with me? Well,
she loves you unconditionally. Right.
Yeah, my mama, she ain't even looking for this. And my mama a cheap date. So why I'm gonna waste that? I'm gonna just cut through all that noise, not even do it. But no, it's a leadership thing that guys, regardless, have to understand that even in leadership, when you're in business at your job, it's either you're gonna go the path or you're not. And a person gets that choice. And if you don't have to be harsh. I know you're military, so sometimes people are a little bit different. But you can be kind and just simply tell them, like, this is where I'm going. This is what I thought we could do. You don't want to participate in that? I'm cool with that. But it ain't going to be 4 or 5 dates where I'm finna find out that, no, oh, you bring it up. It ain't no, oh, she randomly brought up a Gucci. No, she been planning and plotting when she was going to throw that against the wall and see what your response is. And if you're scared that you are going to respond or that your true response is going to make that person upset, it's time to move on. Yep. Because somebody else will want to participate.
All right. So, James, I know you've been hanging on for a bit. Did you want to join on the back end side of the house, or are you okay with the phone call?
I mean, if I can hop back on later, because we never actually touched your original question, though, which was whether it was okay to date while you're financially unstable. And I think both of us agree that the answer is no. Probably should be focused on getting your house in order before somebody into your house.
No, I agree. You should be dating when you're financially unstable.
Unstable?
Yeah, I was unstable. I was not stable when I was dating. I was probably the most unstable dating a lot of you.
Oh, no. Right? Wait, no. How long you been married?
I've been married 70 months this month.
This so almost 6 years. With babies, like 70 months. Like, give us a year.
Almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in a couple months.
Thank you, sir.
You've been married since you were 32. How long were you dating your wife before y'all got married?
5 years. 2 years long distance, but 5 years.
Wow.
Okay, so you were dating your wife in your mid-20s. So
yeah, about late. I had just got out of school.
Yep, and that gets back. So before you hopped on the call, Anthony made a point where in your early 20s, being broke looks different than it does in your mid-30s. So
I mean, it's all shameful, you know. Like, but when I met her, yeah, I had an apartment. I had my cars paid off, but I had a 500 credit score, no savings. I was just trying to go. You can do it, and even when I met her, like the financial education, learning that early, especially for a guy, because truth be told, the reason why I say a guy could do it is because most guys, it's very generic, but most guys live very simply. Even if they have their own apartment, they live very simply. You're not going to come in and see all their walls decked up. They got stuff, you know what I mean? Like looking like an adult in their apartment. They got the bed, they got a TV. They might not have cable. I didn't have cable. I had DVDs at the time, and I'd be like, look, pull up YouTube on your phone or my phone, and we'll sit here and chat. And that's what I brought. But I kept food there. I kept the lights on, but I didn't do all that extra stuff. So my thing was, yes, you can date while you're unstable. If if a guy takes it upon himself to just go learn how to handle his money, he will not be stable. But this whole thing of you date while you unstable, no, you ain't gonna never meet nobody. It take too long. You can date, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying you can't spend no money. No, you probably shouldn't be dating every other night. And that for me was the motivation, because if you know that $100 really means something to you, then you need to be having more fruitful conversations with the people you're talking to. So when you do decide to take somebody out, you're like, okay, I have a better chance of us aligning in values. That's why we're going out. But if it's somebody I just met, I mean, I might buy a $10 drink for you, but if I bought you a drink, I'm probably not drinking. That was probably my drink. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes.
All right. So James, I know you say you probably come back on a little bit later. So is there any last words before you hang up and start watching a little bit?
No.
You good?
You need to call that dude. See
Okay.
if he's still crying.
Yeah. No, the lady was crying, right?
Oh, the lady was crying. Man, that sounds rough.
Right, James? The lady was crying, right? Are you still there?
Yeah, not me. No, I'm not. I don't do that.
Oh, you're the all right, James. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the call, sir. Yeah, continue to follow, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat.
All right, man.
All right, James. All right, take it easy. Peace. Man, so I think it's time for drinks, because I think I need a drink for that
You
one.
be on drinks.
I told you every Wednesday, that's what we do.
Oh, Wednesday.
It's all right though. I got you.
Broke men. Like,
broke-
dude,
Broke man.
broke man can't get no love. You don't want to have no love or money. Like, you ain't got no money. You can't have no love too. Like, you just want him to kill himself. Like,
So,
like,
yeah, DJ Kong, you did miss out a lot, sir. I know you got a lot going on. You got the baby, you got the house and everything like that. But hey, you came just in time. Hey, so we're about to get our drinks in. Just hold tight. All right. So y'all know what time it is. Get y'all little drinks on. So we out there drinking today, because since it's Black History Month, I got Black Girl Magic, the red wine. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a red wine you want to read some more? Yeah, so it's the red blend. It is 13.5% proof. It's loud in my ear, but I know when I listen to the playback, the music isn't really that loud. It's interesting. Yeah, so 13.5%, not bad. It's like water. It's all right. So
13.5.
Yeah, it's a typical drink. All right, this
like
is the
water.
last drop. You said like water. Yeah, considering I'm usually drinking 70%.
Proof.
Yeah, 70. Yeah, proof.
Wow.
On the show. So I mean, my liver's kind of okay with it. Got keep.
You like them one dudes. What's that one podcast that they drink the tequila and stuff? They pretty big. Yeah, crazy fools.
I know, right?
What?
So before we get into listening to more videos about dating broke and all that stuff like that, I want to share one of the people that we met at FinCon. She's been doing her thing over here talking about the stock market, because I know you guys like the stock market. So let's go on and talk about this right quick. And Jonathan, you know what this is when I play it.
Welcome to the wrap. I'm Renita Young, here to take you through today's market. So let's take a look at where markets closed to end Tuesday.
You met Renita?
Now, it was a session after the December CPI report came in higher than anticipated. The S&P 500 and the Russell 2000 both closed barely changed. The Dow ended the session down nearly 0.5%. And the NASDAQ 100 was the only major U.S. index to end higher, up 0.7%. Now, taking a look at the leading and lagging sectors on the day, 4 of the 11 S&P 500 sectors ended higher, with consumer discretionary and tech at the top. The biggest losers were real estate and consumer staples. Now, looking at some stocks on the move, Tesla shares ended 7.5% higher today after several market-moving headlines. First, 13F filings show Soros Fund Management boosted its stake in the company, now valued at just over $40 million. Second, Tesla increased the price for its Model Y by $1,000 while decreasing the price for its Model 3 rear-wheel drive vehicle by $500. And lastly, on the labor front, Tesla employees in New York State have launched a unionization campaign. They reportedly sent an email to Elon Musk with their intent.
That's going to be interesting. You know, like how the heck the Tesla people were like, yeah, we want to unionize right quick.
And they get to do whatever they want. That's one company.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah, so because I've been following Renita for a bit, and it's actually cool to see her talking about stocks and all that fun stuff, like with
To union.
with the stock markets and everything like that. So it's actually pretty cool to see her doing this, do her thing up in Chicago now.
Yeah.
So with TD Ameritrade. So for you guys who are looking to become a TD Ameritrade trader, I can send out affiliate referrals. Just shoot me an email at anthony@aboutthatwallet.com and I can lock you in if you want that.
So when they do that, that's just to open an account? Like the Webull thing?
Yeah, it's just to open an account.
Okay.
Because unfortunately they don't do the what's the name? Like I get any money back. But with Webull, if you hit the link down in the show notes, you can actually get, I think they give you 14 stocks. Yeah. So just hit the link. I think I just got it.
You just got to put a penny.
Yeah, really? No, it's $100. I think it's $100.
Oh, it's $100?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just put $100 in and you'll get 14 stocks right off the back. It's aboutthatwallet.com/Webull. And it's Webull, like a bull, like with horns, BULL. Just want to make sure we're in there. All right, let's get back to this dating thing because I think this is entertaining. So I found this lady and I was looking it up. I was like, what the heck is this thing? And I was like, you know what, maybe come up with something. I might need to do this. So she has this thing. It's viewed over, I think it's like 2 million views or something like that.
I think I saw this one.
No, 1.6 million. Probably like 8 of them are mine already because I've been looking at this thing like all day. But this is entertaining. So I paused it here because this is where it gets entertaining on like talk about dating. So
no, you should not accept him being ugly.
And you should him accept on top of that being broke as well. Because don't you dare as a woman say that you think money is important. No. Immediately they will start to go into a whole meltdown, calling you a gold digger. How dare you wanting money? How dare you wanting to use this poor man? Honey, you don't have any money. There is nothing to be used. There is no gold for us to dig because you have no gold. You should not be worrying about gold diggers. You should be worrying about being broke. As well, these men love to say, and what do you bring to the table? Honey, there is no table for us to sit at. You have no money to buy the table. We're sitting on the ground. So rather ask, what do you bring to the ground? And besides that, me personally, I do not sit at empty tables. I sit at tables that are full. I don't need to bring anything else.
Yeah, she is going off. What?
I say hello.
Hi.
Say hello. Okay.
Oh. You want to say hi? Okay.
Nah, 1.6 million.
Yeah, views. And she is going on.
Did she say what prompted the video though?
Oh,
like at the beginning?
Let's go to the beginning. This is hilarious.
Maybe she just came off a date or something.
No, She's just trying to figure out who started this conversation. It doesn't privy you or anything. It's like, hold on, here we go. This is the beginning.
I am really upset with women, okay? I don't know who did this. It was definitely not me. It was not me, okay? But whoever did this, stand up right now. Like, stand up right now. Because I know some of you women out here have been making these men so spoiled. They want new things now. They want even more things than that women already do. Like, we already do so much. But now they want more. Now they want flowers. Now they want money. Now they want everything. These days, women are expected to be mothers.
Hey. I like chocolate. I like balloons.
I don't like none of that. So,
No, but I'm saying it's
no,
like,
but I'll go with you though, because I wanted a Louis Vuitton wallet. I wanted a Louis Vuitton backpack. Like the stuff I do want, I realize it is pricey. And I hate to say it, but to borrow a phrase from our women counterpart, I think I'm worth it. Just
I think I'm worth
it. I think I'm worth it.
We deserve some flowers.
I don't want no flowers. I want stuff that I can use, but like I like mods, I like Longhorn, I like my little stuff like that. But I get that. I'm trying to. She said, She said, who swooped their head up? Because I think. Because I see a lot of podcasts. I think it's the Fresh and Fit guys. Like they be getting cats just like motivated, and you got to be like this. But I'm sitting there trying to figure out where the social media did a couple things. It exposed people to more people than you would normally come in contact with. So like you weren't secluded to your town. It used to be if you had the money to travel, that's how you was gonna meet somebody kind of different. Now you don't have to do that. You can swipe and algorithms and whatnot put you in touch with somebody that's in the UK. The problem with that is it gives a false sense of value. Because you got, again, all these different shows. You got what's the one little DJ, the radio show girl. I can't remember, but she
Breakfast Club.
No, she be on Instagram, but she be on YouTube, and she asks women a lot, like, "Hey, what do you want?" She got a whole little like 5 same questions, but she was like, "How much did he need to make?" And so women are really saying, "Oh, the guy has to make 100K, the guy has to make 250," and by the volume that they're getting, which I mean, women do get volume. They got more people probably in their inboxes. It's interesting. Like if guys have like true female friends, like you ain't have to mess with her or nothing, and you be like, "Oh man, she's cool. I don't necessarily find her attractive."
Right.
Tell her to pull up any app, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and just show you the DM. And what you'll see, they see the interest. The women see the interest, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What if I looked at it as a guy, I'd be like, okay, but look at the person who's sending you the message.
Right.
He's not, you know what I mean? There's interest.
Right.
And so that interest blinds the fact that, or it supports the confidence of, I can go get such and such because all these guys asking me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But you not knowing the guys that's asking you or the guys that's reaching out to you, they probably make between 30 and 60 grand.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I found out, because I do have some true women friends that are probably listening in, but haven't commented yet in the chat, but it's okay though. But the cool thing about them is like they'll show me their DMs, but then it's a bunch of penis pics. I was like, don't show me.
Dudes weirdos.
Like I'm like, yo, what's the deal? And then they would usually wind up just go ahead on and pick one because it's like nobody else is coming through.
Right.
And it's like you settling at that point. Like, how do you not settle in that situation? I actually do want to finish this video, but you want to get back to this video? See what else you got?
Man, she was going in. She said somebody messed up the dating pool.
Right. Let's see what she got.
Women are expected to be a chef. Women are expected to be, a cleaner, a nanny, every single thing, your personal therapist, and then like giving all of our energy to you, making sure you're this big man. And then on top of that, people decided to say, you know what? Let us also split the bill. Let us pay for these guys.
She sounds like she just got.
I just want to know who did this. And I want to meet this person in a dark alley. And I just want to talk. We as women today have no more expectations for men. We as women were happy when that guy acknowledges that he's dating us. If he does that, he's the king. Oh my God, he told his mother that he's dating me. Oh wow, amazing. What a wonderful guy. But did he tell his mom as well that he's dating 10 other girls at the same time? Listen, I'm tired of this, okay? And I am going to show you guys in this video how to stop accepting the bare minimum. It is done. We as women need to do better because these men are becoming spoiled. Hi guys, my name is Liz and welcome back.
Like what's it? What?
She said they becoming spoiled.
Right.
No, like you married. So
okay.
I tell my wife, all the time, like, and your friend, I will tell him that the dating I did, I could not do that now. There's no way. I have way too much to lose. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm like, you need to be dating somebody, bro. That's why I'm like, if you're a guy and you a millionaire, multimillionaire, you make 250 a year, whatever, it's gonna be so hard for you to try to settle down. I mean, look at celebrities.
Yeah,
they'll go, but I'm saying it's so hard for you to settle down with somebody because you don't fully have that trust. You can't fully sleep at night. You know what I mean? Just facts. You know what I mean? Like I told my wife, I'm like, even if we ain't like each other, or you know what I mean, like the marriage got to the point where you like, dude, I'm really irritated. I'm like, we much rather deal with each other than go out there to the wilderness. Because I'm like, if I'm not with you, then I'm like, I'm not getting nobody else.
Right.
Because there's nobody else I could trust on that level. You're talking about, the guy ain't on the phone, but I'm like, I mean, can you trust your girl with your ATM PIN code number?
No.
Knowing what you know what I mean, your Bank of America, your banking logins and stuff, where your investments at. Can you trust her with that? Can you have 5, 6, 7 grand in your house in cash and know it's gonna be there? You know what I mean?
And no,
or
yeah,
at least,
that's the other one, right?
Or at least if she gonna talk to you before, you know what I mean? Just take her. You just gonna come here and be like, oh, just something came up missing.
Right.
So it's
like, where's my money? Like, well,
how it come up missing in a drawer? You know what I mean? What did you buy in the house? You know what I mean? In cash. You know what I mean? Like, what was you transpiring? You went to the refrigerator and had to vend the refrigerator. So no, I know I'm spoiled. I'm like, I'm not like that, but it's just like, I hate to say it, I know a lot of people are listening to these shows and I'm trying to speak in the terms that they understand. They try to relate everything back to business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to date a quality girl, right? What I realized is the girls I like, I realized it earlier. The girls I like I was attracted to them, but I'm like, look whose numbers I'm getting. Look who I'm talking to. As I got better from a character perspective, as some of my goals started being realistic, as I started developing who I was, maturing, that selection got better. But you know what I mean? Business is the same way, or employment, W-2, whatever. You're like, oh man, I'm a supervisor. I can go be a supervisor. I can run a team. Well, you go out there and apply and get that. But if ain't nobody finna give you that job, you're not as good as you think you are. You're not presenting what you think you're presenting. And even if you think you know is valuable, it clearly is not, because ain't nobody picked it up. It's the same thing as in business. If nobody's picking up our product, nobody's reading the newsletter, nobody's watching the video, clearly you're not doing it right. It's not because the eyeballs ain't there. No, you're not as good as you think you are.
So what about this though? Because she's saying that guys up here asking all this extra stuff. I think it's valid. I mean, we should be able to have that opportunity to say like, hey, I want breakfast when I wake up. Is it
So
fair enough
are
to
they asking,
Um,
or is it finally a time where men are comfortable stating something? Because truth was, it was you supposed to, hey man, you got a girl, you be mute. Like old school cats, you go to grandma's house or whatever, family reunion, or just in the mall. If you ever, that was one thing that I picked up early. I'm like, cats over 50 don't say much. They just be sitting there. They
sitting there
carry their woman bags, woman
talking
hee and
to
ha
nobody.
ha with their friend. They just sitting there just quiet. You
Yeah.
sit over somebody's house, they don't say nothing. Like not one word. A plate might come to them eventually, you know what I mean? But they sit in their chair or sit where they want. They don't say nothing. They get up if they're gonna leave and they can be gone. Now guys are saying, well, even if they don't want it, they just taking it.
Mhm.
But now are guys just saying, hey, I really want you to do this? Are they trying to communicate and you're rejecting the communication?
Mm. And I think that sometimes what I notice is that a lot of women try to figure out, like, oh, I know my man. I know that's what he wants. This is how he likes things. I was like, yo, I had a life. I was able to make decisions before I met you. Like, you don't have to tell me how I like things. Maybe things change. Like,
Yeah.
maybe all right, we have fried chicken. I want to go get some lamb today or something. Like,
Yeah.
Fridays might be pizza day, but maybe today I want a sub.
It used to be if a girl couldn't cook, you know what I mean, you just eat the meal or whatever. Now you tell them, look, you can't cook. And you know what I mean? Like flat out. I mean, again, when I was dating, I used to tell, I was like, I don't mind going out, but I'm like, truth be told, I like a woman that's gonna cook for me and make my plate.
Yeah.
So is that too much work? If that's too much work, cool. But I know some people will do it.
Right. And then you'll be surprised on like how many people will be in your DMs at that point, right?
Right.
So let's
I'm not
let's
just
see.
giving, I'm not out here wishful thinking, but some people are, you know what I mean? Like if ain't nobody ever made
I
you no
mean,
play, you can't just go around just, you know
yeah,
what I mean,
if you
request
don't
it.
shoot your shot, like how else do you expect to get it? You know?
No, I mean I get you, but if everybody's rejecting your shot, clearly you haven't reached, you aren't putting enough value out there because, truth be told, women know to make a dude's plate,
Yeah.
and so like I'm married. We go to the friends' houses and stuff, and my wife will make my plate, and dude be like, "She make your plate?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not waiting to eat with y'all. Y'all the last ones to eat." Nah,
Yeah, because the guys usually are the last ones to eat, right?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not.
Right.
I can't get my plate before. Y'all got me messed up. But I put in work to get there.
Right. Like,
That's
yeah,
benefit. Then they gonna try to switch it up after being married for 7 years. Hey girl, can you go? You can't do that. Like
you can't,
you
yeah,
ain't been doing it for 7 years.
you gotta
You
set
ain't
that
gonna
up
be no
early.
brand new. Right.
Let's see what else you got on here. Because I like looking at the hot items because it's like the hot stats. I'm glad that they got this so that we can jump to the parts where everybody was jumping into. Let's see what you got.
Oh, the chapter thing.
Yeah, it's not chapters, but
Yeah.
it's like the hot points where people
Oh,
actually
you can
jump
see
to.
where
Yeah,
people really started. Okay, I get you.
let's see. Because I don't want to watch the whole 16 minutes, but
Yeah, she was tripping.
yeah, let's see what else you got.
Disappointed. Okay, but why in the dating phase did you literally date one guy and that's it? Why? And make sure they know you're keeping your options open. Make sure that literally, because women are like to be like, no, you're the only one. Oh, I love you the most, blah, blah. When I started dating my boyfriend, he literally asked me, Liz, are you seeing other people? I'm like, yes, I'm dating other people. And then he was like, okay, I have to win this girl over because there is no way that I want her to be in a relationship with another man. And on top of that, that makes you look very desperate because it's almost like this girl has no options. Like immediately she'll throw like one guy she sees and she will latch onto him. Then the guy thinks like, oh, no other men want her. And like I said before, did you listen? Men like men. So when they see a woman is very desired by other men, they want that woman as well. Some of you women are dating literally a guy that is everyone's man, and everyone knows that this guy is a cheater and he's not even hiding it from you, and you go into this thinking, oh, I want a loyal guy, and then you date him and then he cheats on you and you're shocked. Honey, why are we shocked? Why are we shocked? Some girls go on to date rappers, artists, whatever, that are half of the time just on substances. They literally don't even know where they are. And I'm going to tell you honestly, they barely even know you. Like, I can literally tell you can put two girls in front of them. They will not know which one their girlfriend is. Why? Because mentally, they're not even here. They're constantly on substances. So this guy then cheats on you, and then you're also shocked.
She brings up a good point. I mean,
Why? Like, do you remember asking? Are you dating other people?
I have asked. My wife actually asked me when I was when we were dating, and I told her like, no, I wasn't looking at anybody else.
Oh no, I never asked.
Oh, I didn't ask
Like,
her. She asked me.
yeah, my wife asked me. I mean, girls would ask, but I thought it was kind of one of those rhetorical question type thing. Like I assumed, like when I met you, I assumed you were talking to at least 3 other guys and sleeping with one of them.
That makes sense. Yeah. So then it's like, all right, well, where do I fit in with this?
Well, it's not a where do I fit in? It's like again, you just met this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a secured spot is earned. At some point, there's gonna be you don't necessarily know, but you can kind of get the feel for, hey, I got plans for us to go to the symphony or whatever on Friday. I'm pretty sure one of them other 3 asked you too. And if you're constantly if they're looking to see what plans you got or what's the deal with you guys, clearly you're moving up the ladder of whoever they talking to.
Yeah, and then it's like, well,
I get it. People want to be
like,
clear, but
yeah.
I'm like, you'll get your feelings hurt trying to be clear in the wrong state. Like you just met, like I think she mentioned the guy I think before when she met her now boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
I think either she asked or he asked is what she said. Are you dating somebody? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, what would you ask that for? She just met you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Her phone ain't dry. Like, no,
Like
you know what I
see
mean?
DMs, like
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, it's a behavior thing. You can tell if a girl's more into you, a girl's trying to see if you have plans and if your plans include thoughts of her. You can glean all that information. Like you don't even have to ask. The reason why I say if the asking is because now you're creating kind of a dynamic of conflict because they're like if number one, if you have to ask, you're probably not going to get the answer you wanted out of it.
you already knew what it was.
Yeah, that's like you gonna be the first one to say I love you, man. You need to be fair. Like, you know how that go. You just said I love you, and it's just awkward now. You know what I mean? You could have been loving them in silence until it was like, oh man, they say I love. Well, I've been loving her for some weeks. Well, now you love her because she love you.
Yeah.
You love her verbally. You could love her silently before. And I know that's messed up, but I'm saying people get upset over these little things.
Small.
Like he was all into her and all that, but as soon as he asked her a straight up question, and she was truthful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm talking to somebody. Now you mad. Now she ain't all that great. Now you can't see her. You can't see the distance that you was seeing because you was up there dreaming about her before. Nah, like you just met somebody.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You stay the course. I think if you just met somebody and you're dating them on some sort of consistent level and you've gotten down 90 days to 6 months, you've kind of earned a right to see, hey, I'm ready to try to move this thing a level up. Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not feeling you like that. Or, I mean, you don't have to wait, but I mean, you can know like how this person is viewing you. But if they're giving you all the positive signs that you would expect, and now you get here, you're like, all right, now I just want to get this thing straight up in stone. Hey, I'm looking to move. This is where I am with you. I want to get a little bit more committed. Yeah. Where are you? Oh, no, I ain't really trying to get committed like that. I care about you. Yeah, that's cool. We can part ways.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? You're trying to be consistent with them, but they're not allowing you to be consistent, meaning you reach out, they don't even text. Again, they text back 3-4 days. Come on, man.
They ghost and then they want to play with your emotions after that. And then
you said a key word. I didn't even realize I was being ghosted because I had backup plans. Right. I would make 3-4 dates for the same night. One of them was gonna hit.
You gonna play the numbers game? That's what you were doing?
Is that what I was doing? I didn't know I was doing
the numbers game, sir.
I didn't know. Like I just it was like 2 years ago when I realized I was like, you know what? I think I was ghosted. But I didn't know because I just was like, oh, you know what? I know two of these three ain't gonna do it because I ain't heard from them. Because you know the day of, you like, oh, hey, I'm gonna pick you up at 7, right? You know what I mean? But I wasn't going that route. If I ain't talked to you by Thursday and I figured out who's gonna be the day. I'm like, yeah, I ain't hitting you up. Because if I hit you up, then I'm stuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Oh,
I
then
ain't
you
gonna
suck
hit
on
you up.
that.
Yeah, I'm stuck. You
You
know what I
suck
mean?
on
Like
that one. Yeah.
if you know who you dating and
Yeah.
nobody else is hit up, but then you try to follow up on one of those other ones, and they be like, oh yeah, let's go, because they plans that fell through.
Right.
Nah, you ain't finna get me
You
on
done
that
lost
one.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, but on a guy's side, you can always come to them and be like, look here, man, you can't say I ain't never tried to take you out.
Yeah.
You disrespected me. That's strike one. The tables turn that way. But I guess you're right. See, I thought I was feeling bad for myself. I was like, I didn't know I was ghosted, but you said I'm playing a numbers game. Oh man, I still gotta go counseling. So,
Yeah. You still got
yeah.
let's finish out. Let's see what you got.
Who
Yeah.
advises dating? Think with your head and not with your emotions. We as women need to stop thinking with our emotions. We need to start thinking with our head. When you meet a man, in your head should be, okay, will this guy be a good husband? Will this guy be able to provide what I want? Will this guy be a good father for my children? Think about these things, okay? He doesn't have money, but he'll get better and whatever. No. Don't let these things.
Hold on. How's he gonna downplay like somebody's like potential? It's like
I'm trying to figure out how you evaluating somebody's husband and you just met them.
right. Like I don't know. We don't think like women. I don't have any women make us a phone call. Women, if you out there listening right now, just go ahead on and give us a phone call because us as guys, we still trying to figure this out.
Well,
Just let us
I
know.
mean, when you met your girl,
Yeah.
your wife, could you at least in your head be like, hey, maybe not you, but you like, hey, this girl is a wife type. Like I think that type of stuff might come through. Like
Yeah.
you can initially assess, like, oh, she's marriage material. You know what I mean? When I just met her, like some people would be misfiring with that, but overall, people have a general concept of, no, this is somebody that's probably marriage material versus, hey, this is somebody that's probably just gonna be a good girlfriend or hey, good Friday night or whatever.
I see where you're going at. Yeah. I think that's the reason why I decided.
But it wasn't a set in
Yeah.
stone
It wasn't
question.
set,
It
yeah.
was just like, I can kind of see it, potential, right?
Yeah,
And then
potential.
as you get to know somebody, just based off first impression, okay, yeah, I can see her
There's a
getting
bill somewhere.
married.
Yeah.
Why? But then you get 4 weeks down the road, like, man, she be snapping too much. Yeah, she might get married, but it ain't gonna be with me. Like
Right.
she be arguing too much conflict.
Oh, the small stuff too.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This girl having you go through a whole exam and you just met, you know what I'm saying? Talking about we need to be like how guys are. You're not gonna get a woman not to be emotional in some capacity.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see what else you got. This lady.
She said,
you think a guy would literally date you if you were not looking like he wanted you to look? No. You think he would wait until you get like beautiful or hot or whatever? No. Simply, he'll be like, you're not my type, bye. And they also go on to just ghost you without telling you anything, making you feel very insecure. Your ego is hurt and heartbroken. So we should start saying,
Right.
okay, are you a brokey? Yeah, I don't want you,
Brokey.
brokey. Never tell a man you have no one besides him. Listen, women think this is cute. Yeah, you're my only one in my life. I don't have any friends. I don't have any family. You're the only one. How dangerous is this? No. How dangerous is this? Because you are literally telling this guy, if you murder me tonight, if you take my life, nobody will care, nobody will know, because I only have you. Congratulations. Very smart of you. Listen, if you've already told him that you don't have any family members, whatever, first thing you can do is you can make up something. You can say like, oh yeah, I contacted a family member here. I contacted you, whatever. You make something up, or what you actually
my
do.
long lost cousin.
Right. Yeah, she's going. Well, I mean, she makes some good points though, from like understanding
Does
the
she?
red flags. Well, at least in the sense of like, hey, I have no family, I have nothing, I have no
But she's
friends.
saying you backed yourself in a corner by saying you don't have no family or nothing. And
But
now I guess you're supposed to be the because I thought she
I
was
know.
saying You basically saying you ain't got nothing but time for him.
Right. I see what you're saying. Okay, I see where you're going at.
But
Yeah.
she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend allowed her to put this content out.
Right.
I would have been the first comment and be like, "Hey man, where you at? We need to talk. We need to take this down. Flag this video.
Like,
Like,
yeah, she's
nah, brokey."
and men can smell insecurity. And nothing is video. I hope you learned something. And you
all right. Yeah. So the rest of it is like, but this was entertaining. So she has 1.64 million views. She brings up a lot of stuff in the beginning. Ended out pretty okay. Talk about security side of the house. But ultimately, did I learn anything about broke people? And this guy, have you heard of this guy?
Steven Speaks.
He's Steven Speaks.
Stephen Speaks. Stephen Speaks.
Oh yeah. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this guy, he's just constantly talking about dating broke people. And I'm like, dude, like figuring out financially stable. And I just want to play this one piece because they don't have that many views. They don't have the millions of views, so we can't do the hot.
Yeah, this was before he went platinum.
Right. So let's see what he got. Yeah.
Real. Yes. So what that says to me is that you're more attracted to the body that's in shape, but you feel more emotionally safe with the dad bod. All right. You don't want to have to deal with that guy who's looking too good. And this is, again, this is not every woman, but this is a lot of women. It is easier for them, which is why a lot of women, whether subconsciously or consciously, date men who are below them. And that stems from, again, their struggle with their value. So, man, there's so much we can talk about. So here's the thing that I have to say right now.
Yeah.
Society has now created a situation where women are valuing themselves in the same way they value or evaluate men's value. Education, money, success.
Yeah.
So here's what happens now. If in a situation occurs where a woman is not educated, she didn't go to college, maybe she has a low-paying job, and she meets this very successful man, and he actually falls for her. She questions, why me? Why would he choose me? Because to her, I don't have the value that could get this kind of man. But what she doesn't understand is the value he sees in you isn't attached to those things. Yeah. It's your feminine energy. It's his attractiveness to you. It's how you make him feel. It's all those other things. So many women are now placing their values in the wrong thing that now they don't know how to properly value themselves in a relationship. And so now if you think your success and all this stuff makes you valuable, again, when you get with this guy who has less than you, you feel superior.
Yeah.
And by feeling superior, you feel safer. The mentality is he has to appreciate me. He lucky that I'm in his life, all right? So I don't got to worry about him.
I have to ask you, did your wife feel like you're lucky that she has you in her life? If that makes sense.
I'm lucky that I have her.
Yeah.
I think she valued me more than that. Not that she was confident as a person, but she would always say she's very self-aware. Like she was like, I know I'm not perfect. And I think for me, I knew I wasn't perfect.
Right.
And when we initially got together, I think we understood how imperfect we were. And so we were like, oh, cool. After being married and after, put in work to really get to know somebody like that and live with them, the value and how you value the person is way different because you're like, man, the storms of marriage isn't the same as dating. I guess that's why I've always I love AO. And Steve, I've heard him speak. There's another guy that's Austrian that's actually getting engaged now that I think he has a more valuable platform because he's actually engaged now. But all these cats who are single and trying to go in, I'm like, dude, you're missing it. You guys are trying to equate a dollar amount to value. You're trying to pick out what's the 4 most important traits and say these are the most important. If the person ain't doing this, cool. Just like he said in there, oh, he doesn't appreciate me. Well, she's not recognizing his appreciation
Right.
because of how he's giving it to her. Doesn't mean he doesn't appreciate her. Again, that's because you guys haven't learned that appreciation is going to look different by everybody.
Yeah.
So it's very. I think that's the part that really, at least when I speak about the quality relationship aspect, that's the part that I'm like, please don't let me run into these people like for real, because I'm like, y'all gonna have everybody single forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, seriously, I'm
These
like,
conversations are, yeah.
you're single. Like I'm sorry, man. It's not like marriage. I'm not marriage, but money. Because a single guy teaching you money of how to be a millionaire, like there are multiple different ways, but there are a lot of consistent things that every millionaire did.
Right.
And it's easy to attain. It is duplicable.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to love, I think people don't understand. There's a lot of things in love that you can't drill down to, you know what I mean? Oh man, they gotta have this. Right. It's I'm like, and the number one thing that I see everybody missing is y'all not taking in consideration that people are human. Like at all. Like these are imperfect beings.
We do the same thing in personal finances, because I was just talking about this today with my brother. It was like, you know, in a bubble, everything sounds nice when you just look at the numbers.
Yeah.
But, you know, like how, like now we're looking at marriage as, I think it's good. I had this conversation earlier, which was about trying to figure out how to have things come through.
Jay.
Hold up, is this Jay?
Jay.
It's going to get it together in a second.
Jay!
You know I like a good air horn.
I know you did.
Jay didn't want to come in for real, Jay.
You want the whole intro? You want the whole intro? Hold on.
I could, but it's okay. I just came, so I take classes on Wednesday evening because you know we're certified over here. We're not halfway doing this financial. We're not on the Instagrams just saying stuff and having no credentials.
Ooh,
there we go. There we go.
Don't get us canceled. Please don't get us canceled. Yeah. Please don't get us canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, so the topic seemed juicy. It was tantalizing. Are y'all still talking about homosexuals?
Hobosexuals?
Hobosexuals. That's the title on the group.
Yeah, the bro.
I'm not about to be canceled.
This is carryover from Monday when you were talking about when you were talking about this dude you dated. I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah. You know. Okay. I haven't. Where were you? I just jumped in. I could be throwing off the flow. Where were y'all in the flow of the conversation before I jump into?
Well, real quick as we was wrapping up, basically I made the point that, you know, people when they speak about relationships and singles, I'm like, they're not accounting for the fact. I don't believe they're accounting for the fact that people are human and imperfect. You know what I mean? And the video that he had just kind of brought up was, oh, a girl didn't say, oh, the guy needs to appreciate me.
I can play it back. Let's play it back.
Which
one? This one or the other one?
Yeah, it was that one where he was talking about the girl needs to saying that he needs to appreciate me and all that type of stuff.
All right, so let me just play it back right quick for you, so we get it.
Easier for them, which is why a lot of women, whether subconsciously or consciously, date men who are below them, and that stems from, again, their struggle with their value. So, man, there's so much we can talk about. So here's the thing that I have to say right now.
Yeah.
Society has now created a situation where women are valuing themselves in the same way they value or evaluate men's value. Education, money, success.
Yeah.
So here's what happens now. If in a situation occurs where a woman is not educated, she didn't go to college, maybe she has a low-paying job, and she meets this very successful man, and he actually falls for her, she questions, why me? Why would he choose me? Because to her, I don't have the value that could get this kind of man. But what she doesn't understand is the value he sees in you isn't attached to those things. Yeah. It's your feminine energy. It's his attractiveness to you. It's how you make him feel. It's all those other things. So many women are now placing their values in the wrong thing, that now they don't know how to properly value themselves in a relationship. And so now if you think your success and all this stuff makes you valuable, again, when you get with this guy who has less than you feel superior.
Yeah.
And by feeling superior, you feel safer. The mentality is he has to appreciate me. He lucky that I'm in his life, all right? So I don't got to worry about him. Like I got to worry about the guy who has options and has so much going on for himself. So again, subconsciously, they choose the lesser.
So that's what that came from.
And my thing was on his point about value and appreciation. I personally think people, or I'll put it like this: if people as adults, because a lot of these people, let's be honest, are 30 something on these shows.
Right.
They 30 plus, almost 40. So they have the age and maturity of life that they should be able to say, you know what? What if I went into the relationship and said, okay, I know what I want appreciation to look like, but let me try to find out what he thinks or she thinks appreciation is looking like. Because like she said, he should appreciate me. Maybe he is, but you're not recognizing it because it's not gifted to you in the form that you wanted it to be. And for the same thing that, like he was saying with the guy, that 250 guy talks to another girl that, I can't understand why you like me. Well, there were things that you were doing naturally being yourself that he appreciates and he was particularly looking for that he can't get somewhere else. Otherwise, if he could, y'all wouldn't be talking. It's not repeatable like that. You know what I mean? It's natural from you.
Okay, so there are just so many.
Yeah.
So many things
Jay over there
I
got
was
the
just like, oh gosh, I wish I was taking notes or I had time to watch it. So in general, Anthony O'Neill, he's been in this finance, life coach, relationship coaching space for a while. He's one of the Dave Ramsey proteges. He talks about relationships a lot, and I've met one of the times that I met him. I mentioned, I was like, some of the stuff that you put out, I feel like it puts Black women in this like negative light, that we are gold diggers or that we are looking for men for all the wrong reasons, or women, like that's your preference. And that we, while we are worthy of love, we are not preparing ourselves to accept it in a genuine and pure way, and that we have the wrong intentions. And he was receptive to it. I'll give him credit to his credit. He was 10 toes down. Like, he listened to what I was saying and what my concerns were. And his response was that he looks at what people are saying in the comments and what people are asking him and what they're DMing him, and he develops content around that. But for that reason, there's a lot of times when I'm just like, there's only so much of this content that I can stomach. For the same reason that I was not part of Kevin Samuel's group at all. And I know you're supposed to speak positive, those who passed, but it was just like, there's a lot of clickbait here. There's a lot of things that come out that make it seem like I am the problem. And not to say I'm perfect and I don't have problems, but it makes it, I see it as Black women, and I'm not, it does not go over my head, the colorism in there. Like, there's a dark skinned woman that's presented versus like a fair skinned woman. But the fact that like love is just going past us and healthy relationships is going past us. And it's interesting because someone else, I think it's like his sister, is part of a brand. Her and her husband have the brand. I think it's like Belief a Meal or something like that.
Okay.
And it's
Belief in Fatherhood.
Like, and it's like beautiful Black family. And it's not even just like Black family. It's like family values and overall. So anything that comes out, I tend to just kind of have like a
you gotta have the
block yourself from taking this personally, from reading too much into this. Understand that this man has products and a business and he needs to sell, and there are things that are going to sell. There's clickbait, there's value in putting certain things out there. Yes,
I guess I would ask you, because I posed this question to, I think, a colleague of mine. So with all the, like you said, the clickbait, we need a man here, we want a man to have the money, well, I'm not going 50-50, all this, right? My question is there anyone in the African American community that would call Barack Obama a simp, say he was tricking, said Michelle was stupid, say all these things because by definition, yeah, Michelle's been great going on tour, kind of giving the realities of things she struggled with mentally. And I don't think that message got fully through. There were a lot of people that took that the wrong way.
Yeah.
But one thing I always, at least for me, I was like, well, nobody would ever talk bad about Barack Obama, and nobody's saying Michelle, who was it was clearly documented when they met. She had already been at the law firm doing her thing, graduated from what was it, Yale or Princeton or something like that. She had been there for years. He comes up, he's an intern. He's not even making bread. You know what I mean? Their first interaction, only black people in the firm. She's trying to talk business. He was like, "Hey, what's up Friday night?"
Right.
She still talked to him. She say, yeah, he was definitely a dreamer, but she ain't say, oh, I saw the presidency in him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, when she met. And so no one's judging that. But what I guess my thing was, while you're trying to get to the money and all that, she eventually got all those things because they didn't pay off their student loans to the second presidential term. So they held it all that time. You know what I mean?
Oppression.
No, I'm just saying that's the reality. These are the facts. But no one's saying that. All we're saying is, or what I'm trying to get people to propose is, a man, when you invest in a relationship in a man, it is a long-term play. And you can't judge you trying to get the Barack Obama that's the president. But by that point, I mean, life is over.
So what was,
like,
you were asking me to react to that, or like, what's the question?
Yeah, like, is it off base, or I guess the real question was about Barack not being, you know what I mean, no one's bad mouthing him, or no one's bad mouthing Michelle. But isn't that like the same thing that's kind of, or at least I think that should be proposed in this dating environment? I'm not dating, but I mean, that's what I think really happened to me. Like, I had a 500 score and no savings at all. That's not something you build a life with somebody. You know what I mean? Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's not. And Anthony, I was trying to wait before I responded because I think Anthony was about to say something.
Oh no, you good. Go for it.
Okay, so I feel like and we've already been going on for an hour and a half, so I'm going to try to like wrap this up neatly. But like, this really could start a whole nother topic. So
we got more people coming in as
bring the air horns back. I don't know why the air horns keep going. Air horns make me think it's really something happening. So, okay. One of the things, and I've heard this in different perspectives. I heard it from pastors. I've heard it from life coaches. I've also just realized it's the truth for myself. Women will look for men who can provide stability, and who can be a provider, and who can be a leader. And people love to throw that Bible verse in your face of like, be submissive to the man. It's like, okay, there's a whole other lot of verses in here. And being submissive, like, if you're asking for that, are you looking to be somebody that's worthy of being submissive too? Like, let's play out that role play, or let's think through that. So we're looking for that. And one of the ways that in this world, and not even just in this country, but in this world, like in modern times, one of the ways that people provide stability, gender and exclusive, like just in general, is being able to provide for yourself, having income. And so it's just natural to connect the dots to say, if I know what I need in my life when I'm looking for a partner, when I'm looking for someone to go forward in a romantic relationship, but also recognizing that marriage is a business contract. So like, as a business relationship, is this someone who can provide? And are they at least providing for themselves? But what I shared when we thank you for the sound effects. When we were talking Monday, which still I think is like the best one we've had.
Part 2. Please check out spaces.
Right. Part 2, 3, and everything else. When we talked Monday, I was dating a guy who, he was perfect in every way for me and how he treated me, but he did not look like he was going to get there financially. And because of that, my fear of like, I'm not trying to have kids that are broke. I struggled enough. Like, I know. And I always say out in my mind of the divorce rate is so high. And the number one reason people get divorced, well, they say irreconcilable differences. And then they also throw in there like, it was money. Like, and infidelity gets in there sometimes too. But that money thing just always plays out. Plus, I just looked through my childhood and experiences I've had, and how many times something was a problem, not because people didn't have good intentions, because they didn't love each other. It was money, and it was their ability to provide, and not even just like having money, but deciding what to do with it, where to go. Like, are we taking a family vacation? I'm deciding I'm going back to school. How are we going to take care of the kids with this? Like, all of these kind of things play out. So I made the decision of, this guy isn't right for me, because I did not see him providing for me. And also, like I said, it was when I was at Howard, and you cannot go to Howard and not feel Black excellence. Like, you just know you just know you're gonna be a billionaire, and you're gonna be like, I'm going to all the presidential balls, and like, I don't know all the senators and the CEOs and like, you. It's there. You feel it. It's brewing. It's the underlying factor, and it's not even like it's a lie. Like, you see it happen once you graduate. So I dropped him thinking, to your point, like, not to say he was a simp, but just like, we aren't equally yoked, we aren't matched or whatever. And then I went to someone who looked like everything on paper. He had the degrees, and he had the family that was like well connected, and he had a good job and all these things. He was extremely smart, and we could talk about anything from politics to the players' ball, like all of that. But he was a complete ass. He knew that in his mind, he was so worthy and so great. And it's not that I didn't want him to have confidence and have Black boy joy. Definitely want that in a partner. But it's that he thought him being so great on paper entitled him to be completely arrogant and dismissive of my feelings. And it was almost like he thought he could buy me. Like, he could buy my time, even though he was super cheap. That was another part of all of it. Right? The guy who did not seem to be,
well, maybe he could rent it. Maybe he could just put something on it, put something in the meter. You know,
when I say nothing, like nothing. And I started to pay attention to this. The number of guys who I say like peacocking, like, you know, peacocks put out their feathers, and they're like, yeah, I got it together. They'll be the ones who won't even offer to buy you a bottle of water when they take you on the free date to go walking through the park. And I'm like, it's nothing wrong with the free date to go to the park. I get it. I mean,
but that water, that's $5. Like, that ain't free. You
know, I'm sitting here parched, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll go get myself a water, because we've been walking for 3 hours now, sweating out all my makeup. I tried to be cute for this date, lesson learned.
Now she got her steps in.
Right. And I'm like, what was this? But meanwhile, the guy who was like, again, didn't seem like he had the trajectory to be some like power broker kind of guy.
Right.
We went to some of the nicest, coolest restaurants. And when I say he would walk in with the most swag, he would go in and just have confidence and was pull that Groupon out. And I didn't care. I was like, babe, don't worry, because I got a coupon for dessert too. Like, we got this. And it was cool, and it was good energy, because it was like both of us were hustling and working towards that.
Good.
So all that to say, yes, there is this like natural inclination to find someone, to meet someone, to be with someone who can provide and who can be stable. But that was the 20-something version of me. That was also the version of me that was told I needed to get married by the time I finished college, or at least be engaged and have a date set, which clearly did not happen. That was way too much pressure. And I'm so glad I didn't, because who I was at 22 versus who I am now in my 30s, is my late 30s, is not the same. I don't think that would have been healthy for whoever I got married to. But now that I'm in my 30s, when I say I want someone to provide for me, it's a lot more than money. It's like, can you emotionally be there for me? Like, can you be open to me? Can you pray over me and with me? Can we work out together when both of us looking like, you know, we put on a little weight. Let's or like, we went to the doctor and they said we need to, you know, work on our blood pressure, whatever. Like, can we provide in more ways than money? Because at this point in my life, I know I'm going to be fine financially. So I don't
know you fine financially.
Huh?
Yeah, we know you fine. Yeah. Jay serious. Jay is serious. I put out a video probably, I think it was 2 days ago, maybe it was a day ago, but it was talking about the whole provider. I think that message is even being missed, because I think women are talking about more the aesthetic, the lifestyle things, and traditionally the man is talking about, hey, I got a roof over your head, I got food in the fridge, I got lights on. That's what we mean by provide. Yeah, your car, you know what I'm saying, your tire breakdown or whatever, something go wrong with your car, I'm gonna get it fixed. Something go wrong over the house, I'm gonna get it fixed. You're talking toward some of the messaging is, well, I'm not going on a trip, but I provided a life for you. But the life that they're speaking of is the trip, the bags, and all that. Yeah, you can eventually get to those things, but we first need to understand, and that's what I was saying a little bit earlier about just the communication aspect. People, like, you can spew all these different things. I know everybody's trying to have a hot take, but at the end of the day, I sit back and I wonder, I'm like, okay, if you guys have been doing this podcast for 10, 15 years and you started single and you still single, at what point, and that's why I was saying when we talk about if we really build in the logic here, you were 20 something. All y'all finna be knocking on 40. And as soon as you hit 40, whether you man or woman, it's really just gonna be looking like a whole bunch of people who've been complaining all their life. Because
Anthony over here. Anthony.
no, I like AO. I text him, but I'm talking about no, it was I think it's 8. What is not 8 at the table, but the conversation card people.
Okay.
They be, to me, some of them fresh and fit too. You could throw them in there. Like, I think somebody hurt him hard and he's been out. Like a lot of these people, you could tell they have bad experiences. But like I told you when we were talking earlier, Anthony, you are what you attract. You could think, I don't care who's in your DM. Just because you have a DM intention, look at the caliber of the person that's coming at you. It's consistent. No matter what people say, if you, like you say, Jay, if it's always dudes that's coming up to you, they'd agree, but their character is messed up. There's something product-wise, people we are that we're putting out that's attracting this guy that says that's okay. Not just you, it was me. I talked to a lot of girls. I would go on dates, but I'm like, Dad, none of these girls want to actually be my girlfriend or try to get to know me or see me as a genuine person. What's up? And I realized, you know what I mean, while I'm being attractive, I'm attracting, I'm approaching the wrong people. I went to the group of 4 and there was somebody who was a nice girl that saw value in me as a person. And I looked over her and I didn't get good at seeing who was in front of me right away. And that's a skill, that's a maturity thing. But spewing back and forth, I'm like, but after being with somebody and friends be with somebody, Anthony, you could speak on that too. But the truth be told, I'm like, statistically, if a dude gets married and he was making 30-some thousand a year, he's probably got like a 60-some% chance over the next 4 to 5 years that he'll probably be making 6 figures because he's married, likely in as far as our culture is, that looks great for a man. All of a sudden, people want to entrust him with all this responsibility. If you get married and have a kid, they really gonna start throwing opportunities with you. When I wanted to become a leader at a bank, yeah, I could get it single. But I think when I went into that interview and they were like, oh, when they found out I was engaged or I was planning to, no, I had just proposed, that put me a leg up on the ability of them to entrust me with that asset to go into that seat. Because I didn't see too many black single guys at that level.
May I respond to that?
Yeah,
go ahead.
So I'm
sorry.
So no, don't be sorry. I'm really enjoying this conversation, and I'm glad you brought that up. So a topic that we discussed when I was in school, it's the opposite of what you experienced. It was like for women, don't wear your wedding ring into interviews because they'll think that you are so focused on your family, and that typically the woman is the one who takes off the most amount of time when families decide to have children. So they're going to think that you are not committed to the job. So it's better to be single, but don't be single in like I'm a hard working here. Be single and flirty, but not so flirty that it crosses the line into Me Too. But you know, cute enough, wear dresses, make them feel comfortable. And it's like all of these things that have to be the aesthetic, aside from the fact that you're qualified, you're intelligent, you showed up, and you know what you're doing. So it's interesting to hear the opposite side of that. Also, not shameless plug that for the longest time my DMs were dry, parched, dehydrated.
We were just talking about that.
Parched, dehydrated.
Because I did not. I made it very clear. I told my friends, I was so tired of putting myself out there and going through what I felt was just nothing but stress and frustration and mess, that I was like, there's other things I can focus on in my life that will be fruitful. And so I decided to focus on those things. And I made it clear, like, come over to these DMs if you want. You're going to get escorted right back out. If I even respond to escort you out, most likely
Exactly.
I'll just unfriend you and be like, well, that was you playing around. I no way advertised that this is what I wanted. But I have finally decided, shout out to our friends in the FanCon community, because I went on a podcast once and they were like, at some point you got to be willing to at least, I'm not lying, it's on record on a podcast, the financial griot, that I was like, I go on one date and that's it. I was like, I go on one date and I feel like I checked off the box. Like, I tried, I put myself out there, and 100% of the time that one day is just like, this is why it's enough for me to just go back into my hermit life of, I can't, this is what's out here, I'm good. But I have decided, I made 2023 decisions that I will put myself out there more, and I will be open to meeting good men, or at least being open to the journey until I say giving it the college try. Right. And it's been nice. It's not, I mean, yeah, it's not been terrible as it was in the past. And I mean, not even in a way of like, oh, I'm in love and there's someone I'm committed to, but it's just, for once, it seems like the caliber of men that are showing up are men that I was like, where have you been? Like, you can finish a sentence and you don't talk in all emojis, and you know who you are and where you're going in life. And
it's funny you mentioned he could finish a sentence. Like, I just saw, and I'm running hard on TikTok right now, but I just seen a girl say she didn't talk to a dude because he mispronounced. She was done talking to a dude and she lost attraction for him because he mispronounced something at a restaurant that they went to. And I was like, man, I guess to me that's trivial, because to me that's along the same lines of, like, my wife, she works in communication. She does a lot of like writing. She has very wide vocabulary. And so she'll speak, and all throughout the time we've been together, there are times where she's speaking and I'll be up there Googling the word to answer, and I'll go back and I read, but I'll stop her. I'll be like, oh, you meant such and such. She was like, yeah. And so like, it wasn't until like recently where she was like, oh, like when you came up you didn't read. I was like, no, I didn't start like loving reading until after college. You know what I mean? I understand the value. You know what I mean? But I'm like, when I speak to you, I know she's so well read. Like, she thought it was cute that I was looking. I was like, well, I'm trying to follow a conversation. I'm not ashamed that I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna find out. But to not speak to somebody or to not progress in a relationship because of that, that's trivial.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good reason to walk away from someone. Because none of us are perfect, right? And we all have different backgrounds. For all she knows, English might have been this guy's second language. So whatever he does know is good and well. Plus, let's not act like the English language is not difficult. All the homonyms and silent vowels and stuff. It's a lot going on there.
That's like you going on a date and then the waiter come up and you like, bro, you ain't gonna ask me what the special? Do I want to know the special? Are you saying, bro? Yeah, I ain't talking to you. The date's over. You know, we out. You know, so no, it's just interesting. Because I'm like, the bar of perfection. I'm like, you're expecting something that you can't even provide. Skip the value. Is nobody's literally no one's perfect. The funny part that I think, or there's a lot of things I think about it, but the interesting part is you want somebody to be a certain way, like now. Mm-hmm. And I say this about anybody, but I'm like, dude, I look at these people, I'm like, y'all don't have kids yet. Y'all ain't got married. Y'all, depending on how your parents are, or you haven't experienced what having to take care of another person's family and what toll that may take. What if you can't get pregnant and you trying to demand kids? What does that look like? What if you do get pregnant, but you got to go through, what is it, 6 out of 8 women experience a miscarriage? Like, there's a lot to this that I'm like, you're stuck like on very, very small things. And I'm like, when something heavy hits you, like, okay, yeah, you're in the gym and all that now. I'm like, because you got the time. But
And the energy.
people talk about, yeah, you got the time and the energy. But a person with a dad bod, me and my boy was talking about that yesterday. They were like, dude, they literally don't have the time. If they're working, even if they make a good income, they literally don't have the time. If they're doing that and they're trying to be a good parent and a good husband. Because when they get off work, they going home, they probably clean up a little bit. They're not Kevin Hart with people coming to wake him up to go work out at 4 a.m. and his house getting clean. The normal people, you gotta go get your kids. You gotta spend time with your kids. Like the workout is gonna take a hit until your kids get somewhat sustainable and you can open up an hour or two. But that's some years.
Might at least say hi to the folks that are here.
Oh, hi, folks.
Hey, he been putting comments up, man. I'm like,
good evening, everyone.
Yeah, here's Gerard. Gerard, hey, thank you for being here. DJ Khan was here earlier. Right.
Right.
We'll do it for everyone.
The air horns. I need to save that audio on my phone so I can use it.
There you go.
No, you didn't miss everything, Debs.
Hey, Debs. And I think that's been coming in because, you know, this is one of the topics I know she's been really excited about. Because I wanted to start digging into like some of those red flags. I know we've been talking about it in multiple different arenas. And I'm not sure how much time y'all got left, but I got a little bit of time. But one of the things like the red flags that we've been talking about, a lot of them has been coming through. And it's like, well, if you're dating with a broke person, like what are the red flags to actually know that they broke? Because I like coupons. Like that doesn't mean I'm broke, but I was even using coupons when I was broke before too. So it's like even now I still use it to save like 45%, especially in this economy. Like this is my jam. So, you know, I was just wondering what you guys have for red flags.
Red flags with money, I guess. It's not necessarily what's in your bank account at the time. To Jonathan's point before, like you could have a lot of student loans. You could have a poor credit score. That doesn't mean that you're broke. I think it's more of the behavior and the mentality that you have towards spending and saving. So, and they say usually in a relationship, there's always one spender and one saver. But it's kind of like, are you always spending money on whatever your guilty pleasure is? If it's eating out, if it's traveling, if it's sneakers, or are you saying, okay, I'm going to set aside so much money for my guilty pleasure, but I know I also want to keep the lights on, and I like to, I know I buy groceries, but then on the way home, I'm never going to actually cook the groceries I bought when I, was at the grocery store. So I'm going to get some food on the way home, and it's okay because you plan for it. And I think that spills over into any red flag, that it's not just like one behavior or one moment in time. It's looking at someone's character and their mentality towards a lot of things, because in some way or other, we all have like some trauma and experiences we've had in our childhood that have shaped who we are. And have we taken the time to work through those and understand those and see how they show up in our adulthood? Whether it's like I grew up poor or not having everything I wanted, so now anytime I can get something, I have no impulse control and I just buy everything. Or I don't feel like we talked about, my family, we didn't say I love you like to each other. So I don't know how to really communicate that. And it's not like in and of itself, it's just a bad thing. It's more of the red flag is, how are you growing past that? Like, what is your character towards that? What is your mindset towards that? And how are you building? The only things that I feel like are immediate and we aren't discussing this kind of red flags, infidelity, and disrespect, like true disrespect, not like, I don't know, we were both, I'm trying to think of something that's like a minor disrespect. I don't know, like if we were getting gas and you went into the store and you got a slushie for yourself and not me, it's like, well, that was kind of selfish. But like that's not.
I don't know, because I mean, you talking to the guy that my wife we used to go over to a friend's house and she's like, well, make sure you go pick something. I'm like, wow, they invite us. Like, I'm supposed to show up.
Oh yeah, you show up with something. You don't show up empty-handed.
No, see that right there? I'm like,
because it's just like
I don't like these indirect commitments, because nowhere in there did they say, hey, can you stop and get such and such on the way? They said, can you come over? They said, can you come over? We doing this. So in my mind, You providing the refreshment.
They are.
What
They
am I
provide the
bringing
main
refreshment
dish,
to
but you
your
provide the
party?
sides for the drink or the dessert. And if you're not going to provide any of that, thank you. This is why people travel with
But you
bottles of
see,
wine
it's in
in their
his
truck
screen.
because they just
It's not
really
like he
It's
sent
about
it to
screen,
us
right,
ahead
right.
of time. Yeah,
Black Girl
it's
Magic
not like
Blend. What you know?
Yeah. The black. Yeah, have you tried this yet?
Yes.
Okay.
They
It's-
actually have a program right now for Black women who want to become vintners. I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh.
Hope I don't get canceled for that. You can sign up and they'll teach you how to like have your own winery.
They're gonna go see after that.
If you do not bring something to a dinner party, good social decorum dictates
you should
that
have put that in their head. But this whole social commitment, I'm like, look, it costs too much to be y'all friends because y'all have these get-togethers every other weekend. So I've got to go out and buy something. I was trying to save money by coming to your place.
No, this
But
way you
if I
get
got to
a
spend the same amount, yeah, you know, if I got to. But I'm just saying, like, do I get a plate? Yeah, I'm wrapping up a plate. I paid to come up here. Like, I need a few. You need to have some foil and something that you can go in. No, I have to bring my own Tupperware too. Like,
really the Tupperware though?
But no, like that's why I was telling you earlier, Anthony, about I was laughing about people. Oh man, what's the red signs of being broke? I'm like, dude, when you're dating, y'all, it's a high chance. What's the 7 out of 10 chance that when you talk to somebody when you dating, they broke. When I was with, you know what I mean, when we got engaged, I was making 35, 40 grand a year, at 20 grand in the bank, at a boatload of student loans.
But the thing about it though, like we were talking about, like the age difference, like we were saying earlier, broke is different between age 20 and then versus age 35.
I mean, I was 31, like you said. I was 31 when we got engaged. And I'm like, to be now, you know what I mean, knocking on the door of a millionaire, you couldn't see that at that point. Only thing she could see was, oh, he's really good with his money because he's not trying to add more to like the proposal in Paris, the ring, when all that stuff was paid in cash. You know what I mean? Everything was a cash moving forward. So how we were doing things and how I was able to do things without her on a small budget from what she saw gave her confidence in, hey, I can trust his judgment in this. And then after being together, she saw how things started to play out and was like, oh, he actually knows what he's talking about. So now we at the stage where there ain't, like Anthony, we were talking earlier, there ain't no question win some money, or if I say this is the decision I'm making. She just told me the other day with a situation like, hey, I know you're gonna do what's right, what's best for the family, no problem. To get that type of just response unsolicited was probably like, if I had sound effects like you, Anthony, I probably would have been holding that thing a long time. Cause I'm like, dude, cause for real, it's like you said, Jay, like when women want that stability, and if they see little cracks, or you might move from 60% trust to 70% trust, but they ain't giving you the whole 100. It take a while to get that whole 100. You know what I mean? Years. You know what I mean? Like it ain't,
because once you lose it's a wrap.
Like you get, you know what I mean? Because that's the thing, like guys don't understand, like you have to be on point. I said this Monday, I'm like, dude, you got to show them something. You know what I mean? It has to be proof of your thing. I'm not saying you can't make no mistake, but if you just met this person and you trying to get them to believe something, you're gonna have some proof in some form of fashion. Now, once you've been there a while, maybe you get 6 out of 7, 6 out of 8 decisions right. Okay, they expect nobody's perfect. You might have a little slip of, hey, we spent a little bit more than we should have here. No big deal. But if you missing the ball on, we just paid $60,000 extra for a house. I just got a $60,000 car loan, and half the car is the other car. Well, half the loan is the other car. You done made some boo-boos. You know what I mean? Some big downward pressure boo-boos. So ain't finna be no trust on, oh man, I got this. Nah, we don't trust you no more. She rather go at it alone. And that's just what it is.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
I guess asking you if I can ask you a question is asking a question. But how would you feel if you knew going into it, like when you were first dating, versus also like how would you feel after you've been together for a while, married for a while, if your partner is making significantly more than you, like more than double? what, if anything, would that change for you in how you approach them, or in how you even felt like secure being around them, or how you want bills paid? Like, what? And again, I've been asked this question because I recognize where I'm at in life, and people told me they were.
As you do the.
No, I really have
Is that why you being parched? Is
Right.
that parched? Is that parched?
the DMs came.
Yeah.
No, this was a question. So the question I asked earlier, or the comment I made earlier about women having to take off their rings for interviews because that's considered sometimes a red flag to employers. We also discussed, like, and this was like a good group of friends, the fact that some men are just like, I can't take it if my wife is making more than me. Whereas I will say the gay men were like, we don't care at all. But the hetero men said, some of them were like, I don't like this. It makes me feel like I'm not the leader, or like she's controlling me. Which I said, okay, well that's a bigger issue, the control issue there. And then some men actually said that they want that. Like, they were like, I would love to be a sugar baby if the opportunity presents itself. So I just wanted to get y'all's hot take on that.
I'll go first on this one. So you talked about a couple things, because when it comes to having your ring on during the interviews and so forth, my wife actually took hers off when she was going through hers. Main reason is because the first thing a lot of people think of is like, oh, she's going to be pregnant shortly. So it was like, why should they hire her? And then it wasn't until she was already hired, she put the ring on, and then the supervisor came and was like, oh, I didn't know that you were engaged, and blah, blah, blah. And, well, it's not that type of discussion. It's about me and for that interview. Like, that's what.
Right, I came here for a job. Like,
right. And then the other thing when it comes to making difference of finances, for me, I'm like, hey, I'm rooting for you, because if anything, it's like, hey, now I get to learn a little something. Like, all right, well, what do I need to do to position myself to make a little extra dollars? That'd be great. Because I don't want it to be just a one-sided thing. It's like, how else can, I mean, I'm already think that I can contribute, but if she's making significant, like 3 to 5, 6 times more, then I'm like, all right, well, I know I ain't gonna reach that level anytime soon. But let me help out around the house. And then she was like, oh, don't worry about it. You can retire, stay home. I'm like, cool. You lean into something else. Like, I don't know how I would take it, honestly, because I think it would be amazing to be retired, almost like to have, if the wife is the breadwinner, it'll be a great thing. But when it comes to the financial side of the house, I'm thinking, all right, well, now let me get my little teeny paycheck. I'll take $1,000 every 2 weeks or something for my work around the house. It'd be great. So I can have my little spending money, go out to the grocery stores, get around the aisles, like, hey, baby, you want some
Have
of
your
this?
pocket change?
Yeah. go make mama a sandwich.
Right.
You.
Like, I vacuum for you every day. Like, hey, your bathrooms will be spotless, toilets will be clean. I don't care. I'm cleaning the soap dispenser, like whatever you need. Like, I'm there. Like, you need your toes rubbed at the work. Oh, you working from home? Oh yeah, I got you. I got the little mechanical joint. Like, it's gonna work out. So that's my take on it. Like, I wouldn't mind it. I'll just kind of figure out what my place would be in that relationship. But would I love her less? No. Would the situation change on how we operate together? Of course, because like you said earlier, it's a business. It's like, how are we going to make this happen? Like, if whatever I need to do to continue to her to make that money that she needs to make, let's make it happen. So that's why I'm at with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said at the beginning of our actual marriage, she probably was making close to double what I was making. But I knew enough about money at that point that I'm like, I'll catch up. Because I mean, she was probably 4 or 5 years ahead in her career than I was. So it quite aligned. And then when she saw how quickly I was able to jump up over time, it helped. I know for me, it helped. Like, I understand where guys are coming from with that scenario, because I used it as motivation. Because I'm like, I can go out and earn. She making this still, but I was doing it 2, 3 jobs. She was doing it out of one job, so she was definitely doing it a lot more efficiently. I will say, one of my good friends, they have a business. His wife is a key driver of the business, and she retired him. But the biggest thing that I got from just watching them was, there's never a time ever a time that she didn't, the structure of the home, the dignity, his dignity is probably like he is still leading that home as if he was making that primary income. When everyone knows is well social media documented that she's the key driver of the business. So, and I think that's the piece that um I got, at least because they got married before I did, they really drives home the point for me that I'm like, people just need to understand it's a team thing. If they get a
Yeah.
promotion, it's more in the pot. If I get a promotion, it just makes things a lot easier. You know what I mean? For what have you. Whoever, all we're trying to do, at least for me and my wife, all we're constantly trying to do is get maximum value for our skill set. And anything we can learn and talk. And I mean, she helped me navigate corporate because I would not have made it through corporate because I didn't have the correct communication skills or just the attitude to take people talking crazy. But she taught me how to connect and really kind of communicate my way so I didn't get disrespected, and how I can do it and still move forward and not, hey, we finna kick this guy out, because they will kick you out very, very quickly. And I knew that
Yeah.
wasn't gonna work long term. So no, that's it's just the dignity, and people just, I mean, there's dignity in work. And even if they were working and they stuff didn't do anything, like my grandfather, obviously this is an isolated event, but my grandmother was the primary breadwinner. And my grandfather, his olden days where guys would go out, make some money, come bring their check. You know what I mean? That was a setup. There was never a time where she made him feel like you ain't did nothing but bring these little pennies. His stuff clearly was not paying anything. She gave him his money. He went and got his beer or his chips or whatever he's gonna get, and that was it. Wasn't no, you ain't doing enough. So calling somebody out about some money, it's like I said, they can go make the money, but are you able to do that and maintain the investments, and or invest it all and make sure y'all making true financial progress? Or is it just, hey, I make all the money, you need to do what I say?
Yes.
All
And
right.
you got that. I was like, so that was going to be the sum up. So thank you all both for sharing. But it's definitely the matter of no matter who's making the most money, do you all see yourself as a team, or is it, this is my money, I'm the leader in whatever way, even if it's not a money thing, if it's taking care of parents, if it's whatever, it's just the ability to say we're a team. How do we go about this together? And my goal isn't to make you feel little because we're on the same team. My goal isn't to say like you're not on my level. If anything, my goal is to say check the bank account, like go live, like. And it's not even a thing of trying to flex on a person. It's just we're a team. I understand that you need a day off, although it's great that you, to Anthony's point, scrub the house, got the oil change, and you ready to give a pedicure when I get home. Dinner's
I'm
ready.
ready. You well rested.
Right. But like, still, go enjoy your life. And I think so much of what we see in social media has chiseled away or chipped away at what is considered the values that you need or what are the true values that are needed in a relationship. So that's why people do say like, oh, it's a good relationship if we go on an international trip every year. Or if we always have, beautiful holiday photos and matching plaid lumberjack pajamas. Whatever else it is, it's a lot more that is needed to have a healthy relationship beyond a glossy picture and a good trip or something like that.
So I do want to add one of the segments that I wanted to add. I guess we can test it out here right quick before we roll out of here. Is I have been using Chat GPT for a while, as you see in my previous
Look at
conversation
him
over
on
here.
the curve.
Yeah. So what I did was I asked it a question earlier, like, should women wear their wedding rings during the interview? Not sure if you guys can see that clearly. I'm gonna try to zoom in. There we go. And they try to say like, yeah, there's no hard fast rule about it. Some people believe that wearing their wedding ring can create professional image, indicating that the individual is committed, responsible, or settling in their personal life. Others believe that it's irrelevant for the interview, which what we talked about earlier, and should not be a factor in the hiring decision. Ultimately, it's up to the individuals. They try to play even with both sides. So I'm like, dude, can you just give me one way? But it's trying to play both sides on it. So is that a question a burning question that you think would be suffice that we can kind of think about as we end out the day?
Ooh, a burning question. What is this is also something I posted on my socials for Valentine's Day. And only one person responded. Shout out to my followers for actually, I don't know, living their life and not responding on social media. Good for y'all.
They said they
it
checking
was
on them
like,
parched
what-
DM.
Parched DM.
Right. But I was like, well, my business page, the DMs are very business oriented. And if anyone ever tries that, they definitely get blocked. But no, I was like, darn, no one, ain't nobody got anything to say today? Are y'all like actually out, on dates and stuff? So the question.
Oh, you asked
what is
on
the
Valentine's Day. Okay.
True. But that was the whole
Okay.
point. It was a Valentine's question.
Mhm.
What is the best or worst advice for money and relationships? And one person's response, the one response I got was the worst advice is to mix the two. I was like, wait, I feel like you got to at some point. So
Yeah, so it sounds like somebody co-signed for a loan somewhere.
Let's do the top two, like three, because it will give three of each. Sadly,
okay.
Not sadly, but it's good that it gives that information and it goes in detail. It's really great.
Next time I'm gonna ask Chat GPT or Jasper instead of my I said TikTok, IG, like Twitter. None of y'all, all y'all radio silent today. I know my Twitter is not that active, but my IG and TikTok.
I mean, people have to keep up their facade. They got plans. And then today was busy for the ones that aren't the main. So
yeah,
I'm not that. I'm just passing the message along. That's what they said. It's like sorry about yesterday,
the
but
13th or the 17th.
Yeah.
And usually not even the 13th.
Yeah, you can't do it before. Like,
you get
that's bad protocol.
He said it's bad protocol.
I mean, the whole thing is bad protocol, but it's definitely like, yeah. So put a pin in this because I feel like we need to ask few of these questions again when we do our part 2 on Monday or next Monday or whatever.
Monday.
Men and women wearing their rings to interviews. If your partner makes more than you, and then I do not want to give
this one right here.
Side piece awareness.
We should do this, which is the worst money mistake. I mean, the worst advice from money and relationships.
Man, you should never get a bank account if you ain't married. You really shouldn't. You should really tread lightly, even if you're married.
Right.
Like seriously,
get a bank account.
If you're not married, you should not have no joint bank account.
Yeah.
But even if you, truth be told, like after all the things I've seen, I'm like, there's a lot of people that I'm like, dude, you really need to. You gotta vet a person out, even if y'all together, doesn't mean you automatically gotta go put them on their bank account, because if you know their stuff is messed up, okay, y'all relationship can't function with this too. You know what I mean? You like, hey, maybe you were making extra trips to the bank or something. It's gonna be inconvenient, but it's not gonna. I'd rather have that inconvenience than when you put this fool on your bank account and the IRS come inconvenience you in a whole different way. I done seen accounts get frozen. The worst one I think I saw was when a dude was they just got married like a week ago, and they trying to buy the girl a car. And my thing is, if you know you got bad credit, why did you drive all the way up here? Why you ain't bring that up? And so the dude got a 758, great income, 20K a month income, no debt for real, loan get declined. And he's shocked. He was like, why I get this? Oh, because of the credit situation, and she's gonna be driving. Well, what you mean? I got said. I was like, yeah, but this is what she got. You ain't know none of this. We just got married. Slamming doors, walking out. I ain't never seen no mess like that. I'm like, but you knew. I was like, you couldn't have thought your credit was good. My thing is, you couldn't have thought it was good. Like somewhere along the way where he was like, all right, we finna get up and go to the bank. It's like not like y'all online. Y'all came all the way up here. Yeah. You could have just said, like, look, my credit ain't
like he was too deep in.
No, so it was like,
I can't backpedal. But there's like,
Clean up,
this is why I'm like, why is
No,
there
to
not?
her credit, she ain't say nothing. I was like,
You
but
said to
that
her
ain't
credit, like
you.
she got it.
Well, she don't. She didn't have nothing. But I'm saying she didn't speak the whole time. Like he was the one speaking. Like, hey, we better get this car. This the bill of sale. All this stuff. But I'm telling you, I ain't never seen somebody so mad. That and a dude rushing, not a dude, but a young woman rushing in on her break to open up a bank account to hurry up and move the money out the joint account to her account because they was about to announce that they was getting divorced in like by the end of the day. So they hurry up and moved it to a single account. And then the guy come in the next day. I'm like, ain't no we can do, man.
So Katrina, yeah, we were just talking about this today earlier. It was like she was like, told you, Anthony, always ask you.
Okay, because we discussed that on Monday. Like some people say, you know, the first date, I need the credit score, or I don't have sex until I know your credit score. They were like, if you can be vulnerable enough to share your body with someone, you ought to be able to share your financial history. I'm not saying a specific time and place when you should, but I feel like somewhere between, hey, can I get your number? Or nowadays, can I get your IG? Because I'm going to just DM you, I guess.
Right.
To we are going to the courthouse to get this paperwork because we are getting married. Yeah. There should be some like premarital conversation where things like this are discussed. And it's not, and it's like, what's your credit score? You know, what are your financial goals? Also, like, are you a person who wants to splurge on cars? Or are you a person who wants to splurge on technology and you want to have the best everything, TV, whatever? Or in my case, are you like hair and nails are like your thing.
And that hair inflation, that's a different beast nowadays. I'm just saying.
I do not care. I will like the thing that I care about. Hair will be in the budget. There will be a line item for beauty.
I'm just saying that's one of those high pieces in inflation that people ain't
got
really
to the point where I was
about.
like, should I just go to cosmetology school and learn how to do my own hair? But
you need to be practiced.
It's a relaxing process to just go and have someone like talk. That's another talk for another day. Like
I hope that 300 is relaxing.
It's more than just the like walking out with the confidence.
Yeah, I know.
I say
it's
that
$300 worth of confidence.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be conversations like that. And it also should be conversations of where we're going to live, because sometimes people make that assumption. They're just like, well, you were going to move into my apartment, right? And they're saying, no, I liked where I lived on my side of town. Or if they lived in a different state, like, are you moving with me?
Well, they want a house in a nice part of town.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, look at that hair. Yeah, look at that hair.
Yeah. Please don't.
It's giving. It's giving. That 300. That 300. I know, right? That
300,000. Let's get on to this. Yeah.
Thank you all for boosting my confidence. But I just don't get how people make it that far and they think that love is all you need. Like, this is not a new story. There should be some discussions about how are we going to adult? How are we going to go through life together? And that includes finances. I don't understand how people get that far and don't know that.
Well, we gotta talk about that. So for you guys for the people who just joining, I mean, I know we've been here for coming up on 2 hours since change, but I want to make sure
boosting your YouTube.
Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the show and give me some thumbs up, because I want to make sure that we start having more open discussions about finances and relationships, and also those money habits. So, if you, Jonathan, I know you've been here for the longest, so go on and tell people how they can reach out to you if they want to learn a little bit more about you.
Well, y'all can really help me out. We're closing in on our 1,000 from TikTok, J Thomas Solutions. Go check that out. Subscribe there. But here on YouTube, Money Talks with Jonathan. Money Talks on Facebook. I have a great Facebook group there.
This guy coming out of nowhere. Marcus from
Marcus. He hit 10K. Congrats.
Right. He coming in.
See, he act like he don't know nobody since he hit that 10K on his channel. He's global now. Okay. But no, that's how you can find me, J Thomas Solution. If you got questions, if I can't answer it, I'll definitely point you in the right expertise, or somebody with character and integrity like I would. But that's how you find me. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you opening up, Anthony. You always have a good time with drinks and music and the crowd stuff, because I can't do none of that. You come to my stuff, it's just a link. It's just a link, and I hope you got your own light, Make something happen.
We got
Yeah, he definitely gives production value. Because I definitely record mine and pre-record it and then send it to my editor. And I'm like, make it look cool, make it look good, right? Can you do this? Like the pressure of going live. You see how much I'm sweating right now? I'm like, the doors are open.
It's tightening up that 300. We're gonna get you another month out of them bad boys.
Right.
Yes.
Nice,
My
nice.
brand is Rich Like My Melanin. It is you know, I like my air horns. It is a financial services company. So we transform complex financial topics into steps. I am rich like my melanin. I'm more active on Instagram, but I have the Tick and the Talk. I have the Twitters. I have the YouTube. Let's just not even really go there first. So I usually do rich like or rlmmfinancial.com to get started. And then wherever you like to watch me, all the links are there.
Awesome. Make sure y'all go ahead on and follow Jay. Get another air horn. I get it up in there. All right, everybody. So again, I'm your host, Anthony Weaver, host of the About That Water podcast. So make sure you go ahead on and like, subscribe, and share it with this to everybody that you know, especially if you got something out of this episode. I mean, we talked a lot about finances, relationships, the red flags, the things that you need to do while you're broke to become wealthy so that you can have that dating situation that you like to have. Because we know that broke people do like broke people. And yeah, I'm just rambling. But anyway, it was a fun time, you guys. It's been, some time. But either way, y'all be safe. I'm out.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Good night.